What is Juneteenth and why is it celebrated? Juneteenth is a blend of words. June and the 19th celebrates the end of enslavement in America. June 19th, 1865, Union General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas. He informed the enslaved African Americans of their freedom and that the Civil War had ended.
Connect with Queen of Collaborations on Linktree. Let's work.
I'm here to tell you at your lowest, you can know that he's still working when you don't understand. When we don't understand. When we don't understand. When we don't understand. When we don't understand. I know that it's harder to recognize it when you're going through something that's got you down. I used to get angry, but not today. Today I'ma pray and surrender the doubts. I'm hearing the chatter, the devil's been talking, but you can't let that get inside of your head. It may be a mess, but there is a message. One day you'll see it and understand.
Hey, and welcome. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, those that will hear the replay and those that are tuning in live. Welcome. This is our Juneteenth celebration on today, and we're going to be celebrating some amazing women that are creating and leaving a legacy. So we're going to be sharing what Juneteenth means to us. We're going to be talking about our brands. We're going to be sharing just so we can educate, empower, and encourage you. Because guess what? You have purpose. So at 11 a.m., we're going to have an amazing guest that's going to be stopping by and sharing with us on today. So I'm excited. I want you guys to please, as you come on, if you would please tell me where you're tuning in from. And make sure that you are allowing yourself to be seen, or however you have to do with Facebook and StreamYard, so that your posts and your comments can be shared, because we want you guys to chime in with us on today. We have some amazing women that's going to be stopping by. Of course, you guys know I'm going to be jumping on a plane at 6 o'clock going to Atlanta, so I have to check in 2 hours early. Y'all going to see some smoke coming through here because I'm burning some incense. I was trying to set my mood. I've been in prayer this morning and been meditating and just trying to cleanse the air. So I had a couple of incense going and the candle going. Just trying to get my spiritual right and trying to get myself together before I get on this plane. I'm going to see my baby off. My sister, of course, is flying in later, and we're going to get to spend some time with Avery before he leave to go out of the country for service. He's going to serve, and I am so grateful for him. I'm glad I had this opportunity right before we go live with Juneteenth event, so I can kind of share with you guys. I'm grateful for the men that decided to share inside of our special edition of Aspiring Authors Magazine, our men's history edition. Every year we highlight our women. We have Women History Month, where we showcase women, where we talk about the history that the women have shared and how we've evolved and different things. But y'all, they don't do that for our men. And I wanted to do it for our brown men, because those are the ones that matter in my life. I have some amazing brown men that are around me and surround my presence. So I'm grateful for them, and I'm thankful for the things that they're doing, how they are impacting the world. We are the change that we desire to see. You know, we oftentimes talk about things that we want to see happen, but you haven't seen a lot of people doing the things that they want to see happen. But this now generation, the ones that are moving, and when I say generation, I'm not giving a specific age. I'm talking about the ones that are right here, right now. This is the right now generation. We are definitely moving and shaking and doing those things that we've been called to do. I see that my amazing guest is backstage, so I'm gonna jump off really quick. I'm gonna play this clip really quick for you guys, if y'all would, and I'm gonna chat with my guest, and then when we come back, you'll see her. So hold tight as I bring up my guest. What is Juneteenth and why is it celebrated? Juneteenth is a blend of words. June and the 19th celebrates the end of enslavement in America. June 19, 1865, Union General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas. He informed the enslaved African Americans of their freedom and that the Civil War had ended. Okay, so I'm gonna bring my guest up. I heard some it sounded like there was some interference. So I'm gonna bring my guest up. I wanted to let that clip play really quick, but I'm gonna bring my guest up, and then I'm gonna let her introduce herself, because y'all know I am bad with introductions. So I'm gonna allow her to introduce herself. But again, I'm excited to have each one of my guests stopping by. We're gonna be talking about the importance of Juneteenth, what that means to us, and the importance of legacy. So I'm going to move out the way and allow Dr. Velma to introduce herself. How are you today, first of all?
I'm good and so happy to be here and to meet you in person. Sister Angela, thank you so much for having me on this particular day. It's exciting.
Well, thank you. Thank you for stopping by and sharing with us on today. I tell you, people just truly don't understand the power of networking, the power of collaboration, the power of partnering. And I thank you for stopping by and sharing. And legacy.
Yeah. Well, one of the
today
things
is like yesterday and today are two of the most important days that we should be really trying to create and leave a legacy. Just for the mere fact that for many years they tried to stop us from creating legacy. I'm excited. I get excited when I see those two letters in front of individuals' name, because that means that they have some wisdom behind them.
Oh,
that
wow.
Means that they've been through something, because that's not something that just come overnight.
No,
that's not something that, and a lot of people take those two letters and they take them for granted, and they don't truly understand the power of those two letters. Yeah. And I tell you, I advocate for those letters because I'm trying to get my nephew to go on and get his two.
Wow. Well, hey, you got a powerful...
three that turns into two. Hey, how about that?
You have, I was going to say, you have a long, powerful title in there, because collaboration is not easy. That was one of the wisdom tips that someone gave me early on my writing journey. Relationships, and even in our faith is built around relationships. So collaboration can't help it, can't happen without relationships with other people. And so, right. Yeah. So although that two letter is not there, that word is there, which is just as powerful, that you understand relationships are important.
Amen. Amen. Well, I'm honored to have you here today. And I would love if you would just please just share with those that are tuned in and those that will hear the replay, just a little bit about yourself.
Sure.
How did you get here? How did you get to Dr. Velma? Because I know that the journey was not easy. So
no, it wasn't.
I'm going to step off camera and just allow you to share, and then I'll come back on, and then we'll jump into some more conversation. But right now, take this opportunity to share exactly who you are.
No problem. Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Velma Bagby, and I am an author, 6-time award-winning author. I've only begun my writing journey since 2018. That was after my retirement. I worked with state government for 38 years and retired in 2012 when I was encouraged by my daughters to write my first book, which was about our conversations concerning dating and marriage. So their initial question was, Mom, why are men so slow? And we got into the word, we got into deeper understanding of God's word. So it was something that I had to go back and really delve into the scripture about, and before we had our conversations. And it became so popular among their friends, because these were adult women, both registered nurses, when we had these conversations, and they said their friends wanted to know more. And that's how I began my writing journey as an author. But I had been writing all my life. I wrote in state government as a deputy administrator with the state of California. I wrote growing up as a young teen and as a young adult in my church. I was writing plays, Black history plays, and helping with that, and skits for young people when I was teaching in the children's church. So there was writing a part of my life. I never considered becoming an author until I retired in 2012. And my adult daughter said, Mom, you really need to write this book. Our friends are really excited and want to know more. And so that's how I began. And so here I am since 2018, releasing my very first book. And I just released book 13 and 14. The journey is not easy, but as I was sharing with our host, that my very first wisdom message from a friend was, this journey requires that you establish relationships. And so she helped me and guided me to do that. And that's what I did. I understood, because that was easy for me, a conception that was easy for me to accept, because that's what we do in our faith. Everything concerning our faith is about relationships, our relationship with God, our relationship with our brother and our sister, other believers, and our relationship with others. So it's important that we understand that this journey requires that. I began my career with state government at the age of 19. I got hired early. My goal was to no longer sit on my mom's payroll. I wanted to go to college, pay for it myself. In the evening, I went to classes, got my job. That was my goal, to get a job so that I can begin helping her, so she didn't have to worry about me. And in that process, I truly grew into a career that became became a 38-year career. So I'm grateful for that. So as I began this journey, it was important for me. Oh, some other things that I did. I wrote newspaper articles. And I didn't consider myself a writer even then. I wrote about my grandfather, who grew up very poor in Ville Platte, Louisiana. But his story is rich with history, his experiences that he went through. And I hope that at some point I'll get a chance to add his story to my list of books as well, because I think his story is really interesting. Back when it wasn't safe for African Americans, it was difficult, and yet some of the things that his parents did to hide him and keep him safe was very interesting. So I hope I get a chance to share that with you as well. So my fast forward, I've been married 48 years to my high school sweetheart. My husband is my pastor, Pastor Bruce, Dr. Bruce Bagby. I have 2 adult girls, both registered nurses. I have 1 son-in-law. I have 3 grandchildren. And my writing buddy is my German Shepherd, Gracie, who's sitting right beside me, just listening to this presentation with her ears perked. So I'm excited to be here. That's a little bit about me. I also understood along this journey that very first book, although I helped my granddaughter, who published her first book at the age of 6, and she's written 3 books before the age of 8. That was a part of my journey. I wrote a journey about my difficulties fighting illness in 2018 and why God allows us to go to a down place as believers. And then God had me to go back to my heart, which is with my husband, we conducted pre-marriage counseling for over 30 years. I conducted pre-marriage counseling, marriage counseling, and also mentored and counseled single women. And so from those stories, I found that there was more to talk about in terms of dating with intent to marry. And so that became my latest book. It's Christian contemporary fiction, The Catch No One Wants. And that's what it talks about, dating with intent, the story of a young woman who struggled in her dating life, and how her father, who was a pastor, intervened, took her on a fishing trip, and encouraged her to date with intent to marry. And so on that trip, he introduced her to five metaphorical stories about fish and their behavior similarities to men. He talked about the catfish who hates, who loves garbage. He talked about the sturgeon who likes to nibble. He talked about the salmon who fights getting caught, non-committal. He talked about the pufferfish who has a beautiful human-like face or handsome, but he gets agitated very easily, so he had anger issues. And so the fifth fish is the surprise fish that you have to read yourself. But I just wanted to share with you how I did a pivot, and God brought me back to take that message out again and continue to talk about the importance of dating safe, the importance of dating with parameters, because dating with intent changes your strategy in dating. And so that's what was important. That's my story. Those are predominantly most of my books, and I hope you enjoy getting to know me.
Wow. That was amazing. I was just sitting over here just waiting for a chance to just come in and just share. Because you you journeyed you've been on a journey.
Yes.
And even though your book is about relationships, your journey. Wow.
Yeah.
Like, we look at our lives sometimes and we wonder why we go through some things.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. And it's on
Wow.
purpose. A lot of that is preparation. A lot of that is grooming. Because God, in the book I wrote, a place called Down, Why Do Christians Suffer? That was about my entire 2019. And when I began that journey, I'm going, God, what's going on here? I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. And God just let me know, well, why not? You live in a sin-sick world and things happen. You can't get sick because you belong to me. You can't go through anything because you belong to me. And I discovered that when God allows you to go into the refiner's fire, he only burns off what he cannot use. And it was after that experience that those books began just coming out. And so it was important for him to do what he did. I had to go through that. And once he spoke to me after that, I got healed from that first one. Another health attack came. Went through that, and my approach and my mindset was totally different. I said, okay, God, you're ordering this season for me, then I know you're with me. So I'll just have to go through it. I'm going to praise you until it's over. And I thank you for what you're doing. Then that was over. Then the third one came. It was all the way until around September of 2019 when I finally recovered. And I said, oh, God, what are you doing in me? What did you have to burn off? And so from that, by next year, things just began to take off with my writing. So it was all God, and it's all on purpose.
Wow. I tell you, wow. That's all I can say right now is wow. Like, if people understood, like, we just come out of 121 days of prayer, June 1st. And if people understood the individuals that was a part of this with me, and the stuff that we encountered along those 121 days, and just you sitting here today sharing, and one of the individuals that's going to tune in and hear this, if she's not already listening, it's just confirmation for her. It's just a reminder for her, for the word, because God is faithful of his word. His word is not going to return to him void. And if he don't give you this word, you got to stand on it.
Absolutely. Oh, if I'm on the shoulders of a grandfather whose parents hid him in the chimney from the KKK, if I'm standing on the shoulders of a grandfather who hardly had anything when he married my grandmother and built their little house, now we would consider it a shack, but they considered it a house. If they hid him between the mattresses and then got in bed like they were sleeping, just so he would not get lynched, then I certainly should not have to complain about the little difficulties God has allowed into my life, because he's prepping me for something. And my daughters used to say, Mom, how do you have so much faith? I said, girl, you get faith by what you go through, and you see his hand for real. I said, it's not in the scripture. I didn't have to quote anything. I could just talk about what I've gone through and what I've seen him do in my life. I said, that's where faith comes from. So if you want more of that, it's going to cost you something, because you're going to have to experience something so that you know that you know that you know that you know that he's real.
I'm telling you, I used to, you know how people always tell, this is me, and I'm just being transparent. I'm not a Bible thumper. I don't walk in no calling. I don't walk in no office. I'm sure I have a calling, but I don't profess none of that. I don't do none. I'm just me. And just like you say, I just share my experience. Those things that I've been through. I can't tell you nothing that I've not been through, because I've not been through. I've not been through it. I can only tell you what I've been through. And if you ever hear me talk about something, it's only because I've been through it.
What you've been through.
I want you to have to go exactly through it the way I went through it. But I want you to know that you can overcome it.
That's it.
You can get through it. He will never, I don't care what it looked like. I just talked about this on my podcast this morning. I do a Monday morning motivation. And I just talked about this on the podcast this morning.
Wow.
God is, and he quit. He don't waste no time.
No, he does not.
If you just humble yourself and you just realize, I had to realize, I'm telling you, I felt like I was at the lowest point of my life.
Yeah.
I felt like there was no getting up. I thought everything, and I was a believer. I from little. I'm talking about my aunt always took me to church. I'm talking about I had to get on that church bus when nobody else would get on there. When that bus went down that road, sometimes I'd be the only little child on that bus. But I went, and all the word that had went in me.
Okay, so you were a drug baby too, huh?
In time. It was a point where I had to say, okay, all this word in me, now I got to wake up and I got to begin to use that word. I got to allow that word to be life to me. I got to allow that word to do what it said it would do.
Yep.
Because the word is the truth.
Yep. And it's going to be the truth.
You need not forsake me.
Yeah, it's going to be the truth, whether you believe it or not. It's still the truth.
Exactly. It's the truth.
Mm-hmm. I love that. So you asked me about the DR, the number before my name. When my daughters began getting their degrees, I had my AA, and I think I had gone back and gotten my BA by then. Before I became a deputy administrator, I said, wait a minute, I'm going to go up against some other people I know are more educated than me. So I went back and got my master's, and then got the doctorate in theology, because I said, I don't need to get anything concerning my job. I know my job. I know this company. I know the state government. Let me get it in what I love. And so I got my doctorate in theology. And so I did that because my daughters were moving through their degrees and getting their degrees. I said, well, you know what? It's time for me to go back and get mine. And if I'm going to apply for the deputy administrator, and I was the only African-American deputy administrator in all of state of California, in Northern California. And I was shocked the first time we had a complete statewide meeting, and I saw all of these other people of color from the Southern California. I'm going, oh, there's more of us. And they looked at me like, oh, they have one. And I was it. So I was so glad, because I felt proud of what I had accomplished when I walked into the interview for the position. I didn't feel intimidated. And it's kind of what we feel sometimes, even as writers. We feel intimidated. When I entered this whole realm of things, I felt intimidated until two things happened. I saw a blog where a Christian author said, Jesus spoke over 55 parables, because, you know, there are Christians who pull away from fictional Christian books. They only want nonfiction. And so I wrestled with okay, do I go nonfiction? My first book was nonfiction because it was the telling the truth of our conversations and who we were and what we were talking about. But the book behind me is contemporary fiction. I said, okay, God, what do I do? I saw the post. Jesus spoke over 55 stories, parables, which are fictional stories, which is where he took things that were familiar with people to help to teach them something profound. So in my story, I took fish and used the analogy of the fish to describe some of the wrong choices in men that women tend to make, even believers, so that they can see them and not be intimidated. I wanted to be able to do what Jesus did, present a story, use fictional stories so that you're comfortable reading it, but underneath it, you'll get something a little more profound. And that set me free. The other hurdle I had to overcome was there's so many other people writing. There's so many other writers. It was a little intimidating in the beginning. Is this really what you want me to do? Until my Christian marketing teacher says, there's so much work to do in this world. We shouldn't be intimidated by anyone or feel that there's a competition. There is no competition in the work that God has given us to do. No one can do it like you, collaborations. No one can write it like me in my writing. No one can say it like me. And so therefore, it is the place that God has planted you and is what he's called you to do. And when she said that, and when I read that blog, that was it. 2 books. One is fiction. I said, well, God, where do I put all the stuff that people want to go deeper and they want to know more? Nonfiction, study guide. That's what he did.
I'm over here smiling, crying. I'm just full of joy because in 2000, like I just told you, are you still in California?
Yes.
Wow. Because I just told somebody I wanted to visit California.
Really?
I've never been to California. And I've had so many people invite me to come to California and not gone. And I just said that I was going to go to California.
Wow.
So we have to definitely connect so that I can come to California.
Okay. Well, I talked about...
And not only that, when I first started, I am now the author, co-author, collaborator.
Yes, I've seen that.
Whatever. 53, 54 books.
Mm-hmm.
We have, when I started this first book, it was a collaboration project with a lady out of Texas that I didn't know nothing about. She didn't know nothing about me. She asked me to share in the anthology, which was a group of them coming together, and it was called From Fear to Freedom.
Mm-hmm.
I shared my journey of losing my mom 12 days after my 16th birthday. I never shared that story with nobody. Mm-hmm. Like you say, Jesus had all these parables, and he shared them through stories.
Yeah. God
has allowed me to share every different experiences that I've experienced in my life in these different anthologies, and not had to share the same story. It's been a different story that I've been able to share, and I've been able to share from my experience, things that I've been through.
Wow, that's right.
People can see. Yeah. You know, shot point blank range with a sawed-off shotgun. I should be here. You know, I can walk. I do videos of me cleaning condos on Fridays and Saturdays, something that I never thought I would be able to stand up and do. You know, a lot of things, you know, we come against and we think that we can't, and we look back and we see how God allowed us.
Wow.
To get through it. Because I'm telling you, I was laying on my deathbed. I was in Grady Memorial Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia, 21 days. They could not get my blood pressure down. I was on the verge of having a stroke, they say.
Wow.
But the whole time I didn't feel no different. I was trusting him. I'm like, what is these people talking about?
That's it.
You know, I was waiting on my sister to come so my nephew my great nephew could be born and I could go home. Because I knew my sister was coming to take me home, and I was going to get to see my great nephew be born. So that's what I was trusting and believing. Yeah. You know, whatever they had to do, whatever. They tried all kind of stuff. Wow. I ended up having to have emergency surgery because at that time they found out that I had a cyst on my pelvis the size of a grapefruit, they say. They caught it in time. You know, everything happened for a reason, and sometimes we don't understand. And I tell people all the time, no, we may not go through the same thing again, but if he did it once, he'll do it again, he'll do it again, he'll do it again, he'll do it again.
Yeah.
Because if you had a headache, if you got over that headache, he'll show you that you can get through whatever illness it may be.
That's
I'm
right.
telling you, when I had surgery, and I was like, every day, I would say, Lord, 2 weeks from now, I'm gonna look back on this and I'm gonna be like, look how he did me. And that's exactly. It seemed like he raised me up just that quick, because right after I got sick, and that happened to me, he raised me up. My cousin had to have emergency surgery because he tore his Achilles.
What?
He couldn't drive. So guess who had to drive him around? And if God had not raised me up just that quick, he didn't wait. He rose me up just that quick. Because when the doctor said it would be 6 months, God was like this. Yeah. When the doctor said it would be 6 months, but then they start getting amazing, then you know what them devils gonna tell me? Them devils gonna tell me I could have sex, but couldn't tell me I could go back to work. You was a lie.
Wow.
And the truth ain't in you.
That's right.
And you telling everybody that. You telling me that. You telling everybody that. So now you telling me it's okay to go lay up and have sex, but I can't go labor and work. He said a man that don't work don't eat.
That's right.
I just keep it biblical. That's what I know the words say.
Girl.
You know, I so love you. I so appreciate you coming on and sharing today. You know, today was so needed for so many reasons.
Yeah.
Yesterday we celebrate Juneteenth.
Yeah.
You touched on some things, and I definitely want you to write that book about your family member.
Yes.
Your dad. I definitely want you to write that book, because we need to see that. We need to hear that story. We need to hear how they saved him from being lynched. You got to connect with Jessica. Jessica, she writes for my magazine. She does the business section, but she also has a book on lynching. She done some research. She had a cousin that was 17 years old that was lynched. She did some research.
I just discovered my great grandfather. Didn't know who he was until about a year or two ago. From ancestry digging, I've been building the family tree. Discovered where our family was originally from on my dad's side. We thought we were from Arkansas. Most of my dad and his siblings have passed away. Discovered that they were from Nawana Grove, Mississippi, and found my grandfather. And a year after the census document, he was lynched. And we found him at the memorial in Alabama. So we're going to be traveling there, Lord willing, in April for a memorial for my grandfather that we just discovered. And
this young lady that I'm telling you about, she is from Mississippi, and she wrote a book. Yeah, she is from Mississippi. She just did her second book about her. It is about her dad and some of the stories that he shared and all different kind of things. So you definitely have to connect with her. Her name is Jessica Stark. She writes for the magazine. She is in Mississippi. She does a lot of amazing stuff. She's she's one of the founders of Bonds. It is a business organization that does a lot of stuff for small business. She does podcasts, and she does a lot. She's a serial entrepreneur. But genealogy is her thing too. She does a lot of she has done a lot of research, and she helped people that want to research their history and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So definitely you have to connect with her.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, this is what we do.
Hey, collaboration.
This is what we do. Like, she's a part of my magazine, so of course I have to connect you with her. That wouldn't be right.
Well, that's why the collaborations title is multifaceted.
But who does it help? You know, who does it help? Because y'all may have a connection that can bring more people together and can help more people find out about their history and find out about lynching. Because I just did a paper. I just had to do a presentation on lynching and about the civil rights movement, the end of the American Civil War, and and the start of the NAACP, did a whole little presentation through PowerPoints. I got 157 of the 175 points. So I said, well, thank you, Jesus.
Wow. Well,
So,
California is getting ready to offer reparations soon. So they have a committee working on it now, trying to determine how they're going to offer it. But it is going to happen.
well, all states need to offer it, because you think about where a lot of these slave ships first landed at, and where all this stuff first. I mean, I'm here in South Carolina. You think about Harriet Tubman freed a lot of people right here off the coast of South Carolina. Not too far from where I am right now. I'm here.
You have a display, don't you?
Talk about Charleston. They just opened up a museum in Charleston that chronologies a lot of this. But we as brown people, a lot of people. I was listening to the radio this morning, and a lot of people have a lot to say about Juneteenth and not wanting to recognize Juneteenth and complain about Juneteenth. But you don't know how many holidays we have to recognize, and we are subject to, that has nothing to do with us. Because we want to talk about July 4th. Yeah, we eat some good food, have some good time. It's like a family reunion on July 4th, but that ain't got nothing to do with us. We wasn't free, wasn't thought about being free with nothing. But y'all want us to recognize it. Y'all want us to honor it. Y'all want us to do all that. So we are respectable people.
I think so.
We know how to humble ourselves. And we've been doing it for years. But y'all not finna downplay Juneteenth. Y'all recognize.
It's our history. It's our history.
400 plus years. Our ancestors. Y'all owe this to our ancestors. Y'all don't owe us nothing. Let us get that. Let's get that correct, because we ain't been here long enough. Because we ain't even too far removed from still fighting for our stuff.
They're still there.
We still fighting.
Yeah.
We still fighting every day, because some of these people. I live here in Myrtle Beach, and these people are racist. I don't care who see this. They are. But I love the people that I work for. They are some nice people. But there's some racist people in here in Myrtle Beach. People would throw your money on the counter, you hand it in their hands, you reach it to them, but they would give you your change back and throw it on the counter. They just disrespectful. Like, I work hard. Y'all told us. This is what y'all preached to us. This is what y'all told us. Y'all say, get your education, get you good jobs, move to the suburbs, drive good cars, and you have arrived. That's what y'all saying now. So we done all that, exceeded that. Now we getting doctor's degrees. We owning companies. We showing y'all how to run y'all stuff. We raising y'all kids. We doing all this. Okay, let me be quiet. We doing all that.
Yeah.
And they still don't want to give us one day.
Yeah.
You give us the shortest month to even recognize a few of us in these months that you
That's a good point. The shortest month.
You give us the shortest month, and sometimes that's an iffy month. It's an iffy month, because sometimes it's 28 and sometimes
28,
it's 29.
sometimes it's not.
How you don't know it's 28 days and 29 days now? Come on now.
Right.
See, I'm telling you, we always got to keep up with something. See, the word of God ain't got no time.
It does not.
It's an eternity.
It does not.
So all this time stuff, all these calendars, all that, it ain't nothing but a distraction and a confusion and just trying to keep people on a schedule. That's how man made up.
Right.
When we stay conditioned and we stay whatever. So they give us, I celebrate 365 days, 366 days, however they want to call it, whatever they want to decide this year. Because now they want to tell us when suns should set, when sun should set, how long a day is a day. And I mean, is it really 24 hours in a day?
Not in God's timing. He lives in eternity. He's not on the 24 hours.
It's night daytime, because when he moves.
Yeah, he lives in eternity. He's not on our time zone. And the seasons belong to him. Whatever seasons, I don't care what it looks like outside. It can look like a sunny day, but I could be going through a winter in my life because that's the season God ordered for me. And then there's times when it looks like winter outside, but I'm enjoying a season of summer in my life as God's pouring out blessings. So he runs the show. He runs time is in his hand.
That's it. I tell you.
Well, it's never too late. That's all I know. Because I started writing at 64 when my first book was published. I'm now 67, and I'm thankful. And that's another inspirational message for somebody. It's never too late for whatever God has for you to do. Never, because it's his timeline, not ours.
I tell you, you said something right there. You said a mouthful. I'm grateful. And I thank God for women of wisdom, because he's allowed me to be attached to some women that have some wisdom and that can help build me up where I may be weak in. And you touched on something, because you and Mama Forbes is 97. She turned 97.
Ooh, beautiful.
She wrote, look, I got a book. I got to show this book really quick. She wrote 10 affirmations inside of this book. It is a prayer book. It is our first book. We're actually in the midst of working on book 2. And she said, she called me her granddaughter. She called me the crybaby granddaughter. So I'm the crybaby because I always cry.
The tears come.
But she called me the crybaby granddaughter. So she said she gonna write in her grandbaby's second book. So she gonna be sharing again. I'm just grateful. I'm awesome. Grateful for people like yourself that are transparent and willing to share. You shared a lot of nuggets on today. That's gonna touch a lot of people's life, because people need to know that no matter where they are, God can lift you up. He don't have to start you back over. We oftentimes talk about renew, reset, restore. He'll do all that right where you are. You don't have to always start over.
Right.
He can reset you right where you are, but you got to be willing to humble yourself and allow him. Invite him in. That's what I keep telling people.
Now you are on my scripture right now. My reset scripture, Proverbs 3:6. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. And that word acknowledge in the original language means invite him in. In all thy ways. He's not going to force himself into anything that he has given us to do, but we have to invite him into the process. I invite him into decisions. I invite him in to what direction. He has a list of books he wants me to work on, including my grandfather. But I invite him in. Which one now, God? Which one do you want? Invite him into the process, and he will direct your path. And you said, invite him in.
I'm telling you, because we a lot of us, and people don't understand the power of books and the power of these broadcasts, the power of us coming together, because a lot of people, the pandemic taught us a lot.
Yeah.
We were in a lockdown mode, most of us. We missed out on a lot of socialization. We missed out on a lot. But it was a time where God was truly trying to reveal himself to a lot of us, and to allow a lot of us to find ourselves so that he could reconnect. Because see, a lot of us had lost connection. We lost connection with the Creator, and we running around trying to discover ourselves and discover things when he right there. Just invite him in.
Yeah.
Genesis 2:7 is real. And when he said he breathed the breath of life.
Yes, he did.
Breathe into your life.
That's right. That's right.
So if he did that means a part of him is already on the inside of me. We running around trying to discover something. It's already there. All you got to do is yield. Allow him. Invite him. Like you say, acknowledge him. All he wants is
That's it. That's it. That's all he wants. Even for what he's giving you. Yeah.
Direct you, lead you. You won't have to struggle with that. He said, Jeremiah 29:11, he had a plan for you. To prosper you, but you'd have good health, hope in a future. So Catch up with your future. See, when he said it was done, it was done. You got to catch up to it. It's already been laid out. It's already been preordained. It's already been predestined. You have to catch up to it.
Yeah.
See, we take Psalms 121 because that's what we're standing on still. Psalms 121. Look to the hills from which our help comes. See, people take that scripture and they literally just be looking to the hills, just sitting there waiting. Like something just going, like he gonna ascend down, like he just gonna fall down to you, like he just gonna come on down. No, he wants you to move. He wants you to do something. He wants you to look up so you can remember. Because see, when you look up, you're gonna look out and you're gonna see all of his majesty.
Yeah.
You're gonna see all of his greatness. You're gonna see all his power. You're gonna see everything. Because guess what? He has positioned you to be an overcomer by being a willing vessel to empower through your resilience. All you got to do is serve, and he will activate those powers on the inside of you. He's in you, and he want to activate everything. It's already laid out. See what he said? He knew you before you was even conceived in your mother's womb. He said, when you were a mere thought, when he was molding you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, God was dealing with me with some things. He said he had to break me. He had to break me to mold me and bend me into his image. But see, it wasn't just for me. It was for the 11 queens that he had to share in this book. This was for my birthday.
Wow. That's awesome.
See, you had to come on today to bring it out. See, I don't be sharing. I don't be sharing my own stuff. But see, you brought me today. But I tell you, God used you today.
Praise God.
You are a blessing in so many ways. I'm so grateful for your daughter.
Thank you.
You definitely have to share them with me because I definitely want to get them on here as well and allow them to share on my platform because this is what I do. I want to. You said something, and I meant to say this earlier: educate, empower, and encourage.
Yes,
God dropped that in my spirit. See, I had no idea. Books? Who? Me? No, never ever thought about it. Right? No. I'm a hands-on person. Didn't want to do now. I'm crafts. See, I can do some stuff with some crafts and stuff. Look, but never thought about it. Didn't want to do it.
I believe in that story where Jesus healed the 10 lepers. Not all of them turned to walk away, but only one returned back. I believe, even in your collaborations, I always believe that when I turn back to help somebody else, when I turn back to encourage someone, when I turn back to support somebody that maybe supported me or somebody who just needs support, I believe that in those moments, I'm turning back to God and saying, I thank you for what you did for me. Now I know you want me to help somebody else. So when you turn back, you're turning back to say thank you to him. And the way you thank him is you do the same for somebody else. You encourage, you strengthen. Collaborations, relationships. It's not about us walking this by ourselves, and it's not about you just doing you. You have to always remember and keep your heart and your ears open and your eyes open to those opportunities where you can say thank you to God back by helping somebody else, because he sent someone across my path, your path, to help us. We got to remember to turn back and say thank you. And we do that by helping someone else.
Paying it forward. I tell you.
You said encourage. That's encouraging someone else. Don't think that this journey is you. It's just for you, like you said.
Educate, empower, and encourage. Those are the ultimate E3 experience. You know, in this life, our experiences, the things that we go through in life, that's educating us. Educating us to empower us. And he don't empower us. He don't put these things on the inside of us to keep on the inside of us. He wants those things to come out of us so that we can be positioned to be overcomers, be willing vessels to empower others through our resilience. It's through the things that we've been through to be servants. Those powers. He say empower us to encourage others on this journey through life.
Amen.
You know, we share experiences, but everybody got to go through it. My experience is not gonna be your experience. I don't care if you twin, triplet, quadruplet. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all not the same person. I got twin nephews, total opposite people, total
Yeah.
opposite. One is firefighter, EMT. Well,
Yeah.
he paramedic. He worked for he up in there. His brother is total opposite.
Yeah.
His brother total opposite. His brother is go to school and get a degree and work. He going to school and working. Him and his. But I remember younger, when he was in high school, they already was offering him a job at the fire department. When that came open for him, he took it serious.
I bet.
This young man used to bring these people walkie-talkie home with him. I'm talking about 15 and 16 years old. He walked around with fire. These people walkie-talkies at home. I know my dad, God rest his soul, smiling down, happy to see what he's doing. He's impacting lives. He's touching lives, and then he's giving back. My nephew's giving back. He saw a need. He saw his auntie was into these books and doing stuff. He's doing stuff in the community. He's trying to do this program in Belton, South Carolina. He's giving back to our brown kids. He's trying to get the school system. He's trying to do some things. I applaud you. Yeah. Because you're in the government. You were in the government. A place that a lot of us shy. Brown people, we shy away from it. We shy away from it.
I walked in hearing the rumors. Oh, she's a token. Oh, they got her in here because she's a token. I said, well, you know what, God? I'm not saying a word. I said, they're going to get to know this token and they're going to see this token's work, but because you're going to be with me in it. I didn't say a word. I still was friendly, and you can go into a meeting and you know exactly who is happy to see you and who isn't, but you still got to be business cordial, and you go in there and you do that. But I heard the rumor before I got there. I said, Lord, let me just be who you have called me to be, and then they will see what this token can do. And when I began to start making changes in my area, because I had to oversee over 10 employment centers, and when I began to make some of those changes, they came to me. Oh, I hear you're doing this in your area. I really like to know more. I said, sure. But wow. It's part of what we experience. We pass down and train our children and our children's students. My two daughters are in the medical field. It's not an equal employer. It's not equal in EEOC in the medical environment. And so they got a chance to see it firsthand and make an effort to change and be better. And so that's a conversation I had with them, and I'm having it with my grandson. Just remember, you will always be this color. They will always prejudge you. You have got to present yourself differently than what they assume. And so those conversations continue, just like you said. We celebrate Juneteenth. Yeah, we celebrate Juneteenth, but we also continue the conversation, continue to build, like you said, encourage, teach, train, prepare, because this world does not necessarily warm up to you. There are many who do, and I am blessed with some wonderful friends, but there are many who don't. And you have to know how to carry yourself so you can manage and do what you have been called to do. And so that's important.
Wow, you touched on some. You've been touching on some nuggets today. Like I really, we really have to connect, because I want to come to California. Like I have some people out in California. What part of California are you in?
I'm in the Bay Area. I'm about 20 miles from San Francisco.
My friend from San Francisco, Melody Huff, Dr. Melody Huff. She's from San Francisco. She was just out there, Golden Gate, Golden State.
Yeah, I'm 20 miles from San Francisco.
She was on the news. Matter of fact, her T-shirt was on the news.
Really?
Yeah, her T-shirt got selected for something, and it was on the news. That's my friend.
Melody,
we went to Morris Brown College together. I played basketball at Morris Brown, but we went to Morris Brown College together. She was out there. They had something in the stadium, and they packed the stadium or something. and
Well, the
they had
Warriors
it
game.
was on the news. Her T-shirt, her little thing. I'm gonna see if
Oh
I can go back on
wow, must have
Facebook
been the
and find.
Warriors game.
I'm gonna see if I can
What's
go
her
back on
last name?
Facebook and find the picture. Her name is Melody Huff. We called her Goldie, but her name is
Oh,
Dr. Melody Huff on Facebook. She's on Facebook.
wow.
Um, but yeah, she's in education as well. I actually did a book fair 1 year for her. She's in Atlanta. But yeah, and then Shaman Walton. Have you ever heard of that name? He's a commissioner out in California. Y'all have
No.
commissioners out there? Huh?
Yeah, I don't
He
recognize the
does
name.
something, he does something with homeless, and he does something. Oh my God. What do Shaman do? I forgot what Shaman do. He's a Q. He's an Omega. He does something out there. But he did
Wow.
something back. He go out in the school system and talk to the
Oh,
kids and do
yeah.
stuff. But he's in office out there. They did something with the homeless people. They I know they set up these centers where they have like they had little RVs.
Oh,
Um
yeah. Yeah.
I know he had a hand in that, but he's always doing something. His name is Shaman Walton. He's out there. We went to school together. He went to Morris Brown.
Oh,
But he's back
wow.
out there. My friend Lucretia. She's in the hospital system too. She's out there in California. She born and raised out there in California, lived in Georgia for a long time. But she
Wow.
ended up going back. Her daughter just graduated high school, I want to say last year, but she's back out there. I'm gonna have to connect you with some of my people.
Some
But
of
I
your
definitely
Cali
want to come
folks,
out
huh?
there. I definitely have to come out there because I want to yeah. You
Well,
doing some great stuff.
when you
I
get the
definitely want
book,
to meet
when
your
you get the
daughters.
book, I talk about a lot of California locations. The restaurants in the book are all California. And by the way, as a part of my legacy, when my family found out about this book, they started calling me saying, family and friends saying, please put my name in there. I said, okay, I'll use your first name for some of my characters. So I have over 21 characters with first names of people I know are family members. I even there was one scene in the book where some mothers of the church was trying to encourage this girl not to date this particular guy. I put my mother's name, Mother Elvina, and my grandmother, Mother Velma, and then my stepmom, Mother OCB. I put them in there as those church mothers. So there's a little that in the book because everybody started calling me and said, put my name in there. It's okay. So part
That's
of a
cool.
legacy too.
That is so. I mean, that is nice. I mean, just being able to pick up a book, and even if it's not you, just to see your name, just to think,
Yeah.
just to see your name. Just imagine how many times I pick up a book and see Angela.
Yeah. Yeah.
That just, I mean, and then it puts you in that place, and then it
Yeah.
makes you realize that could be you, even if it has not been you.
Yeah.
That could be you.
Yeah.
Wow. See how God used that?
Yeah, he did. He did. In my book that my 2019 experience, that book came out. I finished the draft in the beginning of 2020. That's when the George Floyd incident happened. That's when the pandemic began. And I included those pieces because I didn't realize, I thought that it was my own down experience, but God was letting me know, no, the world went down with the pandemic. And then groups of people, like with the George Floyd, he said groups of people can go to a down place too. And so when the George Floyd incident happened, I included both those incidents as I was wrapping up that book. And I realized, I said, okay, not just people. The world can go down to a down place, and so can groups of people. As African Americans, we've been in a down place. I mean, slavery is over, yeah, but we continue to move through some situations that cause us to go back to such a down place that we have to continue to focus on what we know and what we know that God can do so we can stay positive, because we still face a lot of this every day.
Wow. I mean, really, we're gonna have to continue to have this conversation. I'm gonna have to definitely bring you on
No
one of my
problem. I
Monday.
appreciate
I'm definitely
getting to
gonna have
know
to
you.
bring you on one of my Monday morning motivational shows too. It's only a 30-minute, half-hour power show. Get an
That would be
opportunity to come
fine
on
as long as I'm,
and encourage and
of
share a little bit
course.
about your platform so people can follow you. You know, I do different platforms, so I have different people following me. My demographics are different. When
Yeah.
people say generation, like I don't know what generations are because I'm every generation.
Oh,
I reach people like
yeah.
my great grandma. She's 97 years old. She
Yeah.
listened to me. You know what I'm saying? And then I have teenagers. I work with teens. I had a summer program. I had an after school program. These babies love me. So I work with the youth. And then you have people my age. Then you have those that right up under me. Like I'm just across the generation, I guess. I'm not a
Well,
generational
with my
person.
message of dating with intent, I went back and got my certification as a dating and relationship coach. So you can use any one of those things if you need me to come back.
Look, definitely. Look, Monday morning motivation. Yes,
Yeah.
9 a.m. You
Mhm.
definitely like every Monday. Anybody that that does motivational speaking, coaching, no matter what kind of coaching, we
Yeah.
all need different coaching in different areas of our life. Some of us need
Just
financial
need
coaching.
encouragement.
Some of
Yeah.
us need emotional coaching. Some of us need whatever area it is, whatever the need
Mhm.
is. I want to be able to provide it because then it's recorded. So
Yeah.
if they don't catch it live, they can go
Somebody
back
can catch it.
anytime
That's true.
and listen to the replay. And just think about the people that follow us because we have people all over that listen. Not everybody here in America. We have people in India, we have people in
Awesome.
Pakistan, we have people in Ireland, we have people in Finland, we
Awesome.
have people wherever, Africa, different parts of
Hmm.
Africa, um, that support the platform. So
That's awesome.
we never know who may be tuned in and what they need.
And what
You know,
they need.
I've been hearing people, talking about relationship. Like I'm on a podcast right now that come on every Thursday night, and we talking about the black image. So for the last couple of months, we've been talking about the women's image. You know how we view ourselves as women, and how other people view us. How our black men view us, how other races view us, and then how we view ourselves. The last
In
question
the
was, why are black women angry? Not all black women are angry. And why are black women angry? If they are angry, why are they angry? These are the questions. So your book definitely,
yeah.
definitely would be something that you definitely can bring on those platforms as well and share because
Awesome.
these topics are topics that are needed in our brown community. These are topics that
Yeah,
are
they are.
brushed under the rug that people
Yeah.
don't want to talk about. They don't want to talk about relationships. They don't want to see
I
us
don't
married.
get
You said
that.
48 years? Did you say
Yes.
48 years? 48
Yes.
years. They don't want to see that. They don't want to see 50 years. My aunt and uncle was married 50 something years. They got
Right.
married. They got married the year my sister was born. My
Wow.
sister 57. My uncle died 2 years ago. So that means
Wow.
they was married about 55 years.
Wow.
Don't nobody do that no more. And they was still living in the same house. And
And
they
you were
have
talking about
and they
under,
look, they son was the youngest grandson.
wow. Wow. That's a blessing. It's
So
a blessing.
they don't want to see that no more.
Image is important because in the book, in the white homework basket, it captures what the father said to his daughter. And the very first foundational teaching he gave her was, it's important for you to embrace who God says you are. So that self-worth, understanding your value, knowing that you are the prize, where, a lot of women make the men the prize, but no, you're the prize. You're his crown, God says. You're the good that made a bad situation better, because in the beginning, God said it's not good that man should be alone. So he created the woman. You're that good that fixed that
Wow.
problem. And so all those things is important. He talks about it's in the study guide, because it's important that you start there. When Paul says lay aside every weight, all the bad relationships, the difficulties, the challenges you've had, all that stuff has to be laid aside, because how can you invite or ask God to send you your mate when your heart is occupied with all this other stuff, with all the past, these bad experiences, these guys that hurt you, all of that. You have to lay aside all of that so that there's room in your heart for someone that is nice, someone that will treat you the way God has called him to treat you. And so
Wow.
all of that is in there.
Wow. Like, wow, God just know what you need when you need it, how you need
Yeah.
it. I'm telling you. Like,
Yeah.
I needed this today. Like, I needed you in so many ways. Thank you, Jesus.
Oh, wow.
But
Well,
yeah, I
praise
needed
the
you in so many ways.
Praise the
And
Lord.
today I'm just, yeah, I needed this. Like,
Mhm.
I literally, like, you touched on so much today that not
Wow.
only I needed to hear this, but so many of my brown people need to hear this. Like,
Mhm.
literally, you said that your daughters inspired you to go
Yeah.
back to school, to get those two letters in front of your name.
Yeah.
But here it is, my nephew. And I was pushing my nephew. I was seeing my nephew go to college, go do
Yeah.
this, go do that, go do that. I was seeing I was seeing me through my nephew. In other words, but then
Yeah.
in me seeing me through my nephew began to say, "Auntie, honey, go to school. You go back." And I am now in school. Yeah, and at 47, yeah, I'm 47. And at 47, your girl, your girl made the honors. Your girl made the
Awesome.
honors.
Awesome. Yep. I think I was
I made the
45 when
honors.
I went back. I was 45. It doesn't
And
matter.
already they want me to come back, and I already working on my masters. They want me to work on my masters. So yeah, look, and when my nephew, my I'm getting ready today. Matter of fact, when we finish, I'm gonna be packing my bags. I got all my stuff laid on my bed over there, but I'm gonna be packing my bags because I'm getting on a flight headed to Atlanta at 6 o'clock. I'm
Oh,
leaving Myrtle
wow.
Beach. I'm headed to Atlanta at 6 o'clock. My nephew is getting ready to go out of the country, to serve for this
Oh,
country, and I
oh, wow.
want to go help
You gotta
pack
be
the
there.
people. I got to,
Yeah.
my sister, she constantly remind me, I don't have no natural kids. So I
Mhm.
always, when my nephew was born in February, the year I
Mhm.
graduated from high school.
Oh,
And I
wow.
always said, when I saw him that May, when I graduated, he had on a little sailor outfit. My sister had him in a little sailor outfit, and here my baby is in the Navy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
You had
I,
no
I, I fell
idea.
in love with that little boy the day I laid my eyes on him.
Mhm.
Like, literally, that summer, it just like we was inseparable. And when my sister dropped me back off, because that I graduated from high school, I went on to college that summer. My sister dropped me off
Wow.
at college, and she said her baby cried all the way home. She said he
Wow.
cried all the way home. She said we couldn't get him to stop crying. I said, "Who is
Oh.
this auntie?" And that I look, I didn't know what I was gonna do, but I wasn't going back to North Greenville.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
ended up moving to Atlanta with my sister.
Mhm.
And I didn't know what I was going to do, but I believed God that I served.
Yeah.
And
That's
He
right.
had a plan for my life.
Yeah, he did.
So I
Yes, he
went,
did.
and I didn't know what I was going to do. And every day I would get up in the morning at 5 a.m. and go work at Hardest. But I knew that wasn't what He wanted me to
Yeah,
do.
that wasn't it. Mhm.
And I would get off work and I would go call the different schools. And then I didn't know what an HBCU was. I didn't know what it was. And I'm just being
Yeah.
honest. I didn't know what it was in the early 90s because nobody told me. I was from
Nobody
South Carolina.
said, yeah, they didn't talk about
I
him.
was from South Carolina with it. And then I found out that I went to a church that was connected to an HBCU, and I didn't even know. Then at
Jeez.
college, didn't even know.
Right.
HBCU, didn't even know.
Right.
But God had a plan.
Yeah, he did.
God had a plan. He
Yeah.
allowed me. See, there was a little white lady that was in my life
Mm-hmm.
when mama got sick, and I played basketball. I didn't know nothing about basketball. Didn't know nothing about nothing, but I was tall. And this lady seen me in gym. She was my PE teacher.
Mm-hmm.
She put me on the basketball team. That first year, I walked, I double dribbled. Every time I touched the ball, the whistle blew. I didn't know
Mm.
nothing about basketball.
Right.
I kept showing up. I kept showing up. That's why I keep telling people, show up.
Yeah.
and allow God to do the work. If you show up over there
Yeah.
somewhere in the scripture, it say if you over there in the scripture in Exodus somewhere, it said that if you show up, he'll give you the words to speak.
Yeah, he will.
He'll give you the places to go.
He will.
But you got to be willing. You got to humble
Yeah.
yourself and you got to show up.
Yeah.
So you know what I did? I showed up. She said, show up to basketball practice. I showed up. I showed up to the game. That year, I went from JV to
Wow.
varsity. Didn't know I went to summer camp. Still didn't know. Don't you know I graduated? I ended up getting a scholarship to go play at a junior college. Got a couple of scholarship offers. I made all state. I got MVP. I got a couple of things. I went to Morris Brown College in Atlanta, Georgia,
Awesome.
and played for Morris Brown. When I went there,
Wow.
I didn't get recruited. I was working at Hardest. I was calling these colleges. I even called Morehouse. Didn't know it was all male school.
Yes.
I was calling these schools, talking about I need an opportunity to play basketball. I moved to Atlanta and I play basketball and I need an opportunity to play. Don't you know this man said, okay. He said, let me meet your parents. I told him, I said, my mom died 12 days after my 16th birthday.
Right.
I said, my dad don't know where he's at. I live with my sister's my guardian.
Right.
He said, okay, I'll come out to your house. He came out to my house. He sit down, he talked to my sister. He said, if you come to Morris Brown, he said, all I want you to do is go over to Ben Hill and play during the summer. I played at the summer league with this girl. Her name's Sam. She's on the cover of the magazine for our Women's History Month. This young lady went back to school the same year I went back with four babies.
Wow.
4 babies.
That's it.
Remind you, she graduated in 80-something. She graduated in 1980-something. 4 babies. She went back to school, staffed that, but them babies was young. Them babies used to sit up in the stand and watch us play ball.
Right.
But she went back. She got her master's degree in education.
Good for her. Good for her.
This past summer, all 4 of her babies done graduated from college, HBCUs, with doctors and master's degrees. See, she got pregnant her senior year in high school. She was highly recruited, but she got pregnant. Her book coming soon because people need to hear this.
Yeah, they
I'm
do.
going through some stuff.
Not to give up.
Broken.
Yeah.
So that he can mend.
Not to give up. That's right.
Image.
Yeah.
Because he already had a plan for our lives. Our plan, it's
yeah.
already there.
Yeah.
We already know what the end is going to be. We got to catch up to it.
Yeah. You can't see it while you're in it. You just can't see it. Yeah.
We got to catch up to it. But we got to yield to it. We got to allow him to do what he said he was going to do in our lives. That means we got to
That's
move out
right.
of the way.
Yeah.
We got to move out of the way. I tell you, I definitely have been blessed. I have to connect.
I don't know, Angela.
I have to connect you with a couple platforms. And I'm going to put it out here on this live so they know. Because I'm sure they're going to listen to this. But I'm going to connect you with a couple.
It's been such a pleasure. I've enjoyed hanging out with you.
Yeah, I have to connect you with these platforms because Bravo, Real Bravo Network, this is what I was telling you about his image, our image. We're talking about the Black family image because, you know, we it's a lot of stuff. We're struggling. You know, we celebrating Juneteenth on yesterday, but we struggling.
Yeah.
We instead of us, it seemed like us progressing. It seemed like we regressing.
Yeah, because you know
and we act like slavery and all this stuff has been years removed, but it hasn't. You know, we act like this has been hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years, but it hasn't. If you look back as late as 1968. You look between 1940, 1942, 1968, when the civil rights movement really took place after the end of the civil rights, American Civil Rights War.
Yeah.
You look at how long they kept us enslaved even after the war ended.
Of course.
But they don't want to talk about it. They want to erase it from the history.
Yeah, because there's different forms of slavery, different forms of racism. It changes. It still is. It changes. It changed the stripe. It changed what it looks like. And it's the same with racism. It changed its stripes. It's done differently, but it's still done. It's just done. Like what I was talking about.
It's openly done in some places, because I was just talking about that.
Some places it is. Yeah, some places it is.
That on my live. I was just talking about that this morning on my live. I was just talking about that. I experience racism all the time here in the big old nice city of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Yeah,
That
but
you
that's
think
what
you
I'm
wouldn't
saying.
experience.
There's different forms of it versus what we had. You knew it and you could see it and it was bold because that's what it was. Now there's some bold, there's some undercover,
It's some
there's a
undercover and some bold.
yeah, all
Real
kinds
bold.
of stuff. Yeah, it's still there.
See, they made when I let me be quiet. 'Cause I was finna say something. I got the God on my tongue. But I tell you, we got to be careful and we got to stay woke. We have to.
Yeah,
But I
you gotta
definitely,
know.
Real Bravo Network. I definitely got to hook you up with TJ. We do a show that airs every Thursday night at around you in California. So
Yeah.
it airs here. He's in Missouri, so he's an hour behind me. So we usually meet up about 7:15 his time, so 8:15 my time. Um, so I don't know
5:15 mine.
what that is. 5 your time.
5:15. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's a schedule that you might be able to do, but we get on there and we talk about different images. Last week we talked about Black women being stressed. This week I forget what we're gonna talk about, but we talked about why a lot of people, a lot of Black women are stressed and angry and walk around with all this and feel like we have to carry all this different things that we don't have to carry. You know, the perfect example that this guy he gave, and he said a lot of men probably get mad at him. He said, but you know, the courts may order for family members of when you have family custody or whatever, for you to may order that you take your child have go be with the other parent every other weekend or whatever. He said it's not your responsibility to make sure that the child get that. He said you got to make the child available. He said it's up to the other parent to make sure that these are not your responsibility. He said you got to make it available. See, a lot of us take on a lot of responsibility that we don't have to take on.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you just lead the cow to the water. You can't force it to drink. Mm-hmm. You got to do that. He said if you just put it out there, just let it go. Just let it find its way sometime. You can't keep always, and then people get mad. Tough love ain't always a good love. But what we don't know. We don't know what's what. Sometimes we got to try tough love. If tough love don't work, then try something else. But you got to try it. Then just put it on the back.
Well, tough love is in scripture. Spare the rod, spoil the child. That's tough love.
Take But everybody everything is perceived. People perceive everything so different. Like some people just think if we like with us, we like the spank. We like to get a switch. We like to get a belt. We like to spank them legs. But then they want to call that child abuse now.
Yeah.
But then I see other races out here with these leashes on their children. They got their children hooked up with their arms, hooked up on some. Some of them even had it around their neck, got their children. And then I don't see one pulling the child. And then I don't see the video on floating around Facebook or one child pulling her child through the airport. I guess the baby was asleep or whatever. But you pulling the child through the airport? No, you don't do that. Now, if they had been us, what would have happened to us? We would have been on the other side of the bars looking on this side.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, there's a different standard. And I'm gonna tell you, when Lyndon Johnson did that President Lyndon Johnson did that commission back in 1967, and they did that report in 1968, and they specifically said we are headed to two nations that are divided and unequal. And it seemed like it's been like that ever since. Because what we get now, we got mass and overly incarcerated.
Yeah.
We got mass and overly incarcerated.
That's the new slavery.
Yeah,
it's the new form of slavery.
That's I keep telling people, slavery,
free labor.
Because where do you get Walmart? Where do you get companies getting to produce stuff? Hey, people don't understand that how much stuff is being produced behind these prison walls, and we don't even know the companies that are getting things.
It's free labor.
You know how many people you can get? How many institutions probably take their people over to Walmart facilities, those distribution, wherever they making these products at, or if they making the products inside the jail. We don't know what they do.
It's
because
big
they
business.
doing all kind of stuff now.
It's big
because
business.
if you look at what happened in Alabama, They allowed that to happen in Alabama. If they allowed that to happen, if people, how did that lady allow herself to get so close to that baby?
Wow.
And how did y'all allow that? Because somebody got authority? Y'all
Yeah.
just allow anything to go because somebody, where's the ethics and the morals to that? I don't care
Wasn't
who they
there
are.
one?
If they
Wasn't
doing
there one
something
shut
that,
down because of the abuse in Mississippi? I was reading the history of Warner Grove. There was a prison out there, youth prison, and they shut
yes.
it down because of the warden and several of the guards. All of them. It just became just for them. It was their opportunity to get sex, and it was their opportunity to do whatever they wanted to the children. And somebody found out, and they shut it down.
And that's what's happening at these prisons. That's what's
Yeah,
happening at a lot of these
it's
prisons.
big
Because
business.
how's these
Yeah,
women coming up pregnant?
yeah,
How's women coming up pregnant behind prison walls?
right.
And how's women getting abortions? And how's all this stuff happening if
Yeah.
something is not going on?
With the same
And
with slavery,
how is
follow.
people behind prison wall able to do stuff as if they were free? How is
Well,
that happening?
go all the way back to biblical history. Even the slaves, when the slaves were when the children of Israel were slaves in Egypt, it was all about money. All you have to do is follow the dollar. Slavery existed in the USA because it was big business. Prisons are growing in the USA because it's also big business. That's all it was. You just follow the dollar. It was about getting free labor and making money. And that's all it's tied to. It's big business.
So we need to be figuring out what we can do to get these big businesses to figure out. They need to get some morals and some ethics going on. You
Yeah.
know, why even teach us? I mean, why even have these classes? I just took this class on business ethics. I mean, why we even sit up in these classes and do these research papers and do this stuff when we get in the real world, we don't hold people up to what they need to be held accountable for. We
That's
got to
true.
start being accountable.
Yeah.
If we don't have rules and regulations in place, then everybody needs to be accountable for rules and regulations. But then you got to go back to your history. You got to. I'm telling you, people don't understand. They're taking history out for a reason because if you go back, they took history out of school. Because I'm telling you, I didn't learn a lot of this stuff that I'm learning now in college that I learned in high school.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
learning stuff
taking it out.
in college that I didn't even know it existed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because these people dig deep. I'm saying you give us the
But
13,
there's
14,
another
15,
end of it too. There's another end of the spectrum too. There's the end of the spectrum where our youth are not being taught. And so sometimes their behavior is not where we want it to be either. So there's that end of this whole problem. And then there's the other end of this whole problem. And that is our youth who don't have any guidance at home, who are not getting given what we were given coming up. And so they're causing problems too. And that's because they're not taught. So you got the
So
people who are taking our history out of the books, they're not being taught anymore. And then you have our own children in certain segments of our society that are not being taught either. And so we've got a lot of work to do. We really do.
we definitely do. And
Mhm.
we as those that are speaking up and speaking out, I mean, we have to do our part at keeping our history
Yeah.
alive and
Yeah.
sharing these things. Because if they're gonna continue to take them out, then we got to keep it alive. Because they don't
Yeah.
take social studies, they don't take all forms of history out of the public school system.
Hmm.
Why? Because they claim it bringing trauma to other races.
They
But
don't want them to know.
what about the trauma that we suffer for years at your hand because you want to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. They don't want them to
450
know.
some odd years we've suffered.
Yeah.
But then we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about all the stuff that we went through. It was trauma.
Yeah.
And we need to heal. And this stuff, some stuff we gonna forever deal with. So now we got to figure out how we can deal with these things when these things arise. Because we don't know when something might happen. Because I could be okay today and tomorrow I could not be okay.
Well, it's what you said earlier. It falls under educate. Absolutely. And it also falls under your encouragement because I don't feel that when we're teaching our young people, like I was talking about my grandson is living with us now. He's 20. He's in college. but I have to remind him of who he is. But I also have to remind him about being respectful to other people. And so,
Right.
for instance, we just recently had an incident where this little shop is located across from one of the high schools. So just happened that a couple of Black teenagers ran into the shop, grabbed the tip jar, and ran out with it. I said, now see, that's what I don't like, because that's not all of us. And so
Right.
I was telling my grandson, I said, now see, my response would be to get you and so many other the young men I know that are good kids, get Channel 5 back over there and show you guys going in, putting money in the tip jar, being supportive and respectful, because I don't like the fact that that hit the news, because that's not who we are. That may be
It's
a
always
small
the
pocket.
negative stuff. But it's
Right.
always the negative stuff.
Channel
And
5, come back and let me
let me
show
tell
you
you
a
what
whole
happened to me.
line. Right. Let me show you a
And
whole
see,
line
this
of,
happened to me not too long ago. I'm gonna tell you what
Right.
happened. When I'm down here in Myrtle Beach, so we have these bike shows. They do this bike show. So for 2 weeks they have the Harley Davidson, the Caucasians, the other races come, and then they call it the Black Bike Week and the
right.
White Bike Week. This is what they call it. White Bike
Mhm.
Week is 2 weeks long, and then they have the Black Bike Week, which is 1
Or
week long.
separate.
Oh yeah, it's 3 weeks long of bike weeks. 2 weeks of the white, and then 1 week of the black. That's what they call it. So when the white people were here, they did not block the streets off. They didn't have you go this way, you go this way. You can only do this. You can only do this. They did not do that. And I wish I had but I know now what to do from now on. I wish I had a videotape this so people could see really what's happening here. But when the Black Bike Week came, the same areas, because I work in the same area. They had the street blocked off. You couldn't go to certain streets, certain time of the day. This. I mean, it was like a total chaos. They would keep you from going this, and then everybody that so-called live here had something to say. I had one of my coworkers. This is what she did. I clean condos, so she decided that she gonna bring somebody with her, call him her bodyguard. And I looked at him. I was like, if one of these little brothers wanted to do something to him or her, I said, ain't nothing he could have done. And she talking about bodyguard. Honey, I'm like, did she see these people that was out here? But why you didn't have the same person here doing the other body? I felt some type of way.
Mm-hmm.
And then people thought that I over exaggerate. No, I felt some type of way, because you say you felt some type of way. And you brought a bodyguard, you needed a bodyguard, but you didn't need one when the same stuff, supposedly, the same, because all I heard was revving of the engines. That's all I heard. Everywhere I went was, that's all I heard. I didn't hear nobody out of line, but don't you know, the news people had to apologize to the black people during Black Bike Week, because when they thought it was going to be chaos, they thought it was going to be all kind of.
That's my point. That's my point.
To apologize because none of the stuff that they thought was going to happen.
Right. That's why I said I want. Yep. I want Channel 5 to come back and see me line up a whole line of Black African American and people of color who are good people.
That's what they do. They always highlight the negative stuff. They never highlight the good stuff. You have a lot of good stuff, and it's my mission. It is my job. It is my mandate to make sure that people see the good stuff that we do.
The good stuff.
That's why I started Create and Leaving a Legacy. That's why I did the Women's History Month, where I highlighted 61 women from around the world, brown women from around the world that's doing something to impact the world, the different things that they've done. You got organizations over in Africa that gives out sanitation napkins, that are doing stuff. See, people only show you parts of stuff that they want you to see. So they was only showing you the violence in Africa. They were showing you how they got good parts of Africa. They got nice parts of Africa. They got stuff where that's what they want you to see, because they want you to keep your mind in prison,
locked up.
I got a guy. His thing is prison to power, power to prison, prison to power ministry is his thing, and he say prison starts in your mind. He said you got to let it go so that you can walk in your power.
Now, see, you're going back to the dating. Going back to the dating. What's clogging your heart? What's blocking anybody? Because your fruit shall be known by your fruit. But what's in there? What's in your heart? Your fruit is in your heart. So what's in your heart? What can a man
That's it.
see about you? Your anger, your frustration will come out because if you've had some difficult past, if you had a difficult past and difficulties in relationships, somebody hurt you, all of that comes forward and it comes up out of your mouth. Because what's in you is what scripture tells us, that out of the mouth,
Out of the mouth
the
flows.
heart,
But the
you're
whole
gonna
heart
speak
flows.
what's in your heart. Comes out of
Exactly.
your mouth. And so that's what I'm saying. You shall be known by your fruit. And so whatever your fruit says is what he's going to see about you, because it's going to show. And it's the same for him. Whatever's in his heart, his fruit will show too, if we just pay attention. And so that's what's important. We ignore the things that God gives us to see. We ignore them, and that's pretty dangerous when he gives you wisdom to pick up on something about an individual and you completely ignore it. That's why we have so many wrong relationships out there. When I've conducted pre-marriage counseling, people would come in acting like presenting their problems, and you're sitting there going, the problem is you're not the right ones for each other, and then you're expecting us to fix it. You're
Wow.
not right for each other. You want us to ignore the red flags and tell you it's okay to move forward? That's not
Can't do it.
the right approach. It really isn't. You
Wow.
saw these red flags in the beginning.
Wow. I definitely, truly, I have enjoyed you. I want you to share, how can people support you? How can those that are tuned in, how can they support your platform? How they can purchase your books? How they can follow you?
Yes, please do. You can join my newsletter, and connect with me that way. I have some new things that are coming up that will only appear on my page. So that's at drvelma.com. So feel free to connect with me there. I'm on all social media platforms. I'm on as Dr. Velma Bagby, author, on Instagram. I'm on Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. I think I'm on and Facebook as Dr. Velma. So feel free to connect with me, but definitely if you want to stay tuned with what's happening and things that are going to be coming down the pike really soon, then make sure you sign up on my newsletter on my page.
And if they want to grab your book, they need to go to your website as well.
You can go, if you want an autographed copy, you can go to my website, but it's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. I've seen it it's on Kobo, Apple, and as well, I've seen it at Walmart as well. So all the online stores is available.
Amen. Amen. I truly have enjoyed sitting down and chatting with you on
We
today.
have
You're
really
definitely full of wisdom. You're definitely full of knowledge. I'm telling you, just this has not been enough. I know we probably could do probably about 4 or 5 of these. Just with what you have, just the tidbit that you shared, and what you shared. I definitely want to connect with your daughters. I definitely want to bring them on here, especially with them being in the medical field. I have a niece in the medical field as well, and she's always out in California, in Houston. This young lady is 30 years old. Well, I think she turned 31. She just had a house built from the ground up. She travels, China. She's been all over the world. Every time you look, she's been in a different place. She be swinging with the monkeys. Be having stuff. You look for her. She got stuff selling in on a platform, and she's sitting in the middle of a pool. And then you look up. Next minute, she in a bath, a spa with flowers with her name spelled out. I said, Lord have mercy. I just live through her. Well, Lord use her. Keep letting her see in life and allowing people to see that, hey, this is possible. This is possible. I get joy every time I see somebody doing something and living life, because you know what? It let me see that it is possible. Look how far our brown people have come. She just let me know it's possible. And your babies, I know they're going to say, oh, I can't wait to meet them. It just from just your presence.
My world traveler is the youngest daughter. She's traveling everywhere.
Wow. I know. I can just imagine. I hope she's keeping plenty of videos and pictures. Because I can just imagine. I'm telling you, my niece is she just amazes me. I'm thinking she in Texas. This girl is in talking about she on a 24-hour flight somewhere.
Yeah.
And sending pictures from her flight in next 5 minutes. I'm like, wow. I mean, she's living, and that's what I want people to do.
And
You
you
know,
should.
stop being consumed with the cares of the world. This is temporary. We're
That's
passing
right.
through here. This is not your home.
Live your
So
life.
don't get consumed. Don't
Yeah,
get
live your
consumed.
life.
Don't let these things consume you. A
Yeah.
lot of this stuff is just a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be able to connect with the spirit. So stop allowing distractions to keep you from connecting with the spirit. You won't know how to maneuver if you're not connected to the spirit.
Yeah, that's right.
I am grateful for you on today.
Thank you.
Definitely gonna be sharing you with some different platforms. Definitely want you to connect with Rio Bravo Network, a great platform. They definitely would probably use you with one episode that I know he relationships and ministry. That's something that he would definitely want to pour into.
Wow.
We have a couple of doctors on our platform. We have Dr. Kimberly Thomas. Matter of fact, the name of her book is called Freed from Brokenness, Broken Beginnings,
Yeah.
Healing Every Lifeless Place. That's the name of her book. So
Yeah.
she is one that's on the platform. And then we have Overseer Dr. Pastor Tamara Lucas. She's out of Ohio. And we're from
Mm-hmm.
different places because she's from Florida. But we're from all over. We're from different walks of life. We got a truck driver on the on the platform with us. And then she has an autistic son. So you have people from all different walks of life, and we're able to bring it from our perspective, and we're able to see, oh, this is how she see it. So let me see if I can see this. Oh, I see this. Oh, yeah, I see that. So it's definitely needed. One thing that I've been definitely encouraging us to move forward for 2023 is to start having reunions, because we've gotten away from family reunions. We've gotten away from
Going to one
class
in
reunions.
July. Going to one in July.
I'm going to one in August. I look. I was talking about it, and then the young lady say, "Oh, we having one." She said they was planning one. She said they've been planning one for the last 2 years. The last time I remember having one was when I was a little girl.
Me too.
And I remember how we just that was just something that we did, and both sides of my family. I'm talking now, both sides of my family, two families on each side. So that I
Wow.
went to 4 different family reunions.
Wow.
So I got to see, even though I don't know everybody on my dad's side, I got to see some of them. We got to get back to family reunions. We got to get back to knowing who our family is. People don't want to see. Folks made it okay because they don't talk about something. Well, it's in there. You can marry your fifth cousin. No, you can't marry your fifth cousin. If they can to you, they can to you. If they blood, they blood. Lord, I don't care. These people, I told these folk nasty. And they made this, they come up with these laws to with their foolishness. They was running, they were running from what? You can't hide from you can't hide from him. He and you.
Right.
What you
Right.
running from?
Right.
The
He
debt
sees everything.
that hole that you trying to dig, you just digging it for yourself. So you
Wow.
trying to open it up, trying to be free, trying to, okay, come on over here with me. You trying to set somebody else up because this is what you want to do.
Wow.
So they come running over here. They come running over here because they want to be free. They want to be homosexuals. They want to be doing all that. And then now they just no, it's not okay.
Wow.
I love you, but no, I don't love what you do, because what you do is not right.
Yeah.
But see, we don't talk about that. We talk about stuff that just pacify.
Well, girl, I got to go for another. I got another event, and I'm gonna say to you that I have loved getting to know you. I've
Yes,
enjoyed our conversation. Wow, has this been fun? This has really been fun.
amen. And this is what we
Amen.
do. We just trying to
Amen.
educate, empower, and encourage our people. This is Juneteenth. So I definitely want to thank you for stopping by and sharing
Thank you
with
so
us.
much.
I definitely enjoyed you. I want to encourage people to follow you. Again, share your website so people can follow and support you.
I will. I'll put it in. Can I put it in the chat? Would that be okay?
You can put it in the comment section. If you're on social media, you can put it in the comment
Wait a
section.
minute. Yeah, I have it here.
And then I can share it.
Well, I'm trying to put it on there. It won't let me.
You just put it in a private chat. I'll post it up.
Okay, I'll put it on there.
But definitely thank you for stopping by, and blessings on your day and the rest of your week.
Thank you, my dear, and the same for you and all that you do as the a queen of collaborations.
Well, thank you. To God be the glory. I just
Awesome.
choose to walk in my power. He said, position
That's
yourself to be
right. And
overcome
you doing
of
it.
being a willing vessel. So, hey,
Keep
that's what
doing
I
it,
do.
Angela.
Amen. You be blessed, and thank you for stopping
Okay,
by.
you too. All
Amen.
right. Bye-bye.
I tell you, I have truly been blessed by Dr. Velma. So I definitely want you guys to make sure that you follow up with her platform. Go over and support her platform. I'm going to be sharing this link here so that you guys can go over and support what she's doing. I tell you, I was blessed by her today. She shared some nuggets, and I know that it only gets better. So um, definitely thank you. I gotta make sure that our next guest is let me see, I don't know if I sent her over so that I can make sure that she is up. Our next guest comes on at 1 o'clock. So that will be shortly, you guys, and thank you guys for stopping by and sharing with me on today. What is Juneteenth and why is it celebrated? Juneteenth is a blend of words, June and the 19th, celebrates the end of enslavement in America. June 19th, 1865, Union General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas. He informed the enslaved African Americans of their freedom and that the Civil War had ended. Amen.
Hot off the press 2022 Men's History Month edition of Aspiring Authors magazine. Go grab your copy and meet 55 amazing men from around the world impacting lives, past and present. Connect with Queen of Collaborations on Linktree. I am my brother's keeper.
By the end of the night, we were all turning up like party at the crib, and they playing my song like
finna buy a couple grams of the grams that I flow body out. Finna drive up in the city, meet the girls in your town. I can make a girl smile even when I'm not around. If you're not talking money, please do not open your mouth. 3 real simple mathematics, man, I sit. I'm the boss, I'm the player, I'm the shoot. You didn't look like you done probably broke your wrist. It's me and Evis in the cuff up. Where we've been in the city on the road trying to do shows, do but where we go, that's just how it goes. Some we do like you suppose. I'm a rock star, you ain't on the same level, you ain't even close. Everyone's always pulling position, even they never wearing clothes. Old team getting paper, man, I'm really not opposed. Money tall like I'm standing in my toes, and we did it independent, but we sounded like we pros. Yeah,
driving through the city with the top down at me like got your girl in the front, couple more in the back like by the end of the night, we were all turning up like party at the crib, and they playing my song like my.
Hey. So, y'all, that was some of the men that are a part of our special edition of our Men History Month magazine, of Aspiring Authors magazine. Definitely, if you've not taken the opportunity to go over and grab your copy, please go over and grab you a copy. Get to know some of these amazing men. They're doing some amazing things around the world. And we share some of those that are going on before us, those that are creating a legacy, that have left a legacy, because my dad, he's passed, and a couple other family members that I shared. We're just trying to keep their legacy alive. Keep their memory alive, because they impacted our lives in some way. So we want other people to know who they are and what they meant to us. So we took this opportunity to share inside of the magazine. For those that have not grabbed your copy, go over and grab you a copy. For those that are just tuning in, I tell you, you missed an amazing interview. I had the amazing Dr. Velma Bagby on. I tell you, you're going to have to go back and catch the replay. amazing woman of God, shared so many tidbits, so many nuggets about different things that can educate, empower, and encourage you to that next level. So I definitely want to encourage you to go follow her. Her amazing testimony. I tell you, when you think about Juneteenth and you think about the history of Juneteenth, see, they talk about 1865. That's the original date. June 19th, when we were supposed to be free. But they waited a whole almost 100 years before they set us free. See, we act like it's been so long ago, but it had not been this long ago, y'all. And then we treat it like it just like it just something that happened. Y'all, look at the history. I just did a presentation in my U.S. history class, business history class for school. And I was able to learn a little bit more about the 13th, 14th, and 5th Amendment, about how they came against the people and how they didn't want us to vote. Y'all, it's still happening. They don't want us to vote. They don't think that what we have to say matters. Like, if you just look at history, it just constantly repeats itself. You know, a lot of the things that happen, you know, you talk about police injustice and brutality and things. Y'all, this stuff been happening, it never stopped. It's just that we didn't have the technology and the different things that we can readily see the things that are happening. That it was being done. And so you go back and think about what was happening during the era of the KKK and a lot of these original white supremacist movements. They were doing it because a lot of the blacks that were free, they didn't realize that they were free. They didn't realize that certain stuff was certain stuff, because a lot of them couldn't read. They couldn't write. They didn't have access to the different things to utilize. So they didn't have access to newspapers. They didn't have access to magazines. They didn't have access to these various different things. So it slowed their growth. It slowed their involvement. It slowed their progress of knowing that they were truly free. But the people that knew, they knew that they were doing wrong. See, that's when a lot of morals and ethics come into play. And then you realize who have them and who don't. So I just want my people to stay woke, to stay in a state where you understand that, you know, you be friendly, but just keep it up. Stay focused. Because know that this stuff ain't just started happening. It's been happening. If you go back and you look at the history reports, you look at different things that happened in history. I'm looking at the President Lyndon Johnson report and the commission of the governor of Illinois. It clearly stated that we were headed towards a divided country, a divided nation that was not equal and divided. And I truly see that. You know, a lot of us say, oh, I'm not racist, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not this. But do you stand up when you see stuff that is going on that is not right? Or do you just allow it? And you just settle because you don't want to speak up. They're just like us constantly doing nothing about something that has nothing to do with us, because we don't want it to happen to us. That's why we do it, because we don't want it to happen to us. Y'all, Juneteenth means so much to me because I never knew about Juneteenth growing up. You know, these are things that they kept from us K through 12. They didn't tell us about this. You know, and then the little slavery stuff that we learn, it ain't. I mean, it's roots. That's all they want to give us is roots. They just want to give us what we was chained up, we was this, we was that. But then you take all of the real history and you want to take it out of the schools. You don't want to put it in the schools. We don't even have social studies no more because they talk about the trauma that it brings on other races. What about the trauma that our race has endured for over 450 odd years? But we don't talk about moving from that. We don't talk about healing. We don't talk moving from that. We don't talk about all those things. So the question came up. Of why are we celebrating Juneteenth? Why is it a federal holiday? Why I said that. Yeah, it's so many other holidays that we celebrate that we don't even want to celebrate. I mean, really, though. We celebrate Thanksgiving because we get good food. We celebrate a lot of holidays that it don't benefit us. It has nothing to do with us. It really, we celebrate everything. Why? Because man created these things because they want to celebrate stuff. They just want to celebrate everything. Y'all want to celebrate killing folks. Y'all want to celebrate this, want to celebrate that. Y'all just want a reason to do your devilment. That's normally what it is. So the question was Juneteenth. Why do we celebrate Juneteenth? Why is it a national holiday? Okay. We celebrate July 4th. We went along with July 4th. July 4th is not a holiday for African Americans, period. Why? 1776, you were not free. So how can you celebrate 4th of July, Independence Day? Independence from what? You was independent from what? You were still in slavery. So how was you independent? So how is you celebrating something that clearly was not for you? But we celebrate it because it is given to us as American Day of Independence from England. So they was independent from England, but we were still enslaved. So we was not free. Y'all was free from England, but we were not free from y'all. Truth be told, that's just the truth. But then people get mad because you talk about it, because you share about it. I turned on the radio this morning, and that was the question. Why do we got to celebrate Juneteenth? Why do it have to be a national holiday? Why not? It should have been a national holiday. So did y'all take July 4th down? Because that's the true Independence Day. That's when we truly, supposedly became free. So that should have been the real free day. That's the day when the government said that all American was free. But then y'all kept trying to keep us in bondage with the 15th Amendment. But y'all didn't want us to have the right to vote because y'all didn't want us to have nothing to say. Y'all always want to try to keep us quiet. Then y'all come up with the books and then y'all want to put everything in the book because y'all say if y'all put stuff in the book, we won't read it. But guess what? We authors now. We write books. We got plenty of them. We write them. So today, we are sharing some amazing authors that decide to share their story, to share their truth, to be a part of creating and leaving a legacy. We're not allowing other people to tell our story, because when people tell your story, it seems like they seem to tell what they want to tell and not what should have been told. So, like, I'm figuring that out even from the classes that I'm taking, like, and then dealing with people too, because DoorDash, they'll write a whole story for you. Like, if you can't deliver the food, they'll tell you to take a picture and just like put it somewhere where the customer can find it. Like, we not playing scavenger hunt with these people food. Like, who do that? Like, that's not what I signed up for. Like, literally, this is what happened. So, y'all, when I heard these people don't want us to celebrate Juneteenth, why do y'all celebrate Thanksgiving? Y'all still celebrating Thanksgiving. It brought trauma to the Native Americans. So why y'all ain't took that off? Because y'all not concerned about the trauma that it brought to the Native Americans. Only when it concerns you that you care. But see, we bring highlight to all things concerning the brown community. So the brown community, not just the African American community, for those that just think we about African Americans. We're not just about African Americans. We're about those brown skin, those tan skin that just not all the way pale. Those that suffer disadvantages and injustice and all those things as well. That's what I talk about when I talk about we bring brown skin. So people can stop saying I'm racist, because I'm not racist. Did you take a look at my family tree? Well, if you didn't take a look at my family tree, dig a little deeper and you'll see. It's the reason why I have slanted eyes. Anyway. So I'm excited for my next guest. I have an amazing guest that's coming on in about 18 minutes. She is an amazing person. She has a platform. She's going to get the opportunity to share about her platform and the things that she's doing, as well as what does leaving and creating a legacy mean to you. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're sharing about. I want my people to know that they have purpose. That they dropped out. There's a reason why they are here. That they have purpose. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot. I definitely want you guys. I'm going to be sharing about for the magazine over. Check out the magazine. Check out our amazing men. Our special edition released on June 1st. About 25th in this month. So it's coming. It's coming. I'm waiting on. I want to thank for stopping by. Later today, co-hosting. Well, she's gonna be hosting show on today because that I know that I'm getting ready to get on the plane at 4:00, so it's gonna be impossible for me to interview at 5 if I'm on the plane. So I'm gonna be on the plane at 4. Well, I'm gonna be checking in at 4 to get a plane at 6, and then I'll touch down in Atlanta about 7:20. So I may be on for the 8 and 9 o'clock. For the 8 and the 9 o'clock interview with Patrice, but Patrice is going to be interviewing these amazing queens on tonight. And for those that don't know who Patrice is the director of our book review team. So you're going to get an opportunity to meet her up close and personal. She's also a part of our magazine staff. She does the section of the magazine that highlights the authors. And yeah, this is the link if you would like to purchase your copy of the magazine for June, the special edition for June. There, purchase it. Also, y'all, if y'all want to go over to the magazine's page, Aspiring Authors Magazine's page, all of the links for all of the magazines are listed on the About section. If you click on the About section, and scroll down, see the little but it's on the About section. Scroll down to where yes, let me see. I don't want to tell y'all something wrong. So let me, if you click on the About section, so you click About section, scroll down to where it says About, and this say additional information. If you click on more under the additional information, you can see links for magazines have been released. I'm just gonna copy it since I'm here. I'm gonna copy it and I'm gonna post it in the comments. It's gonna be on post because I'm posting all of them. I'm gonna, if it let me post, because sometimes Facebook won't let you post all the, what's the name? I'm gonna post. Let me post. I'm gonna post it so y'all can click on grab a copy. Grab a copy and support 3 movement. Y'all, this is what we do over here. Lead that impact the world. I know we might not be able to change everybody and change everybody's mindset, but we're doing the best that we can. Y'all, this is long now. This is a long one. This is a long one. This is a long post. But that's everything you need. Of course, it didn't post everything, but that's mostly it. If you click on one of them, it should take you over to the magazine. Then you can just scroll down and just look through them. But this is the information for the magazine, and you should be able to see it inside of the comments below this screening. You should be able to see it. I am waiting for my guests. Let me see. I'm waiting for my guests. So felt okay. So I was trying to make sure I was getting this information out to my I'm trying to share and I'm trying to make sure that I get this information for my next guest to come on so she can get on. Again, I want to thank you guys for joining us. If you are being blessed by what's being shared on today, if you would please share this in your circle of influence. We are live streaming right now through Twitch, YouTube, and Aspiring Authors Magazine Facebook page. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you would please share this in your circle of influence. If you were blessed by Dr. Velma Bagley on this morning, I definitely want you to go over and support her. I'm definitely going to be connected with her because I definitely want to do some things with her. She's out in California, and I definitely want to get to California. That's on my bucket list. So I'm definitely going to be looking out because I'm coming to Cali. Just excited about what God is doing in our lives. I need to be packing, but I committed to doing this, so I am doing this. I get off at 3, so I'm gonna be done. I'm gonna be ready to do this. Yep, I leave at 4. I have to be checked in by 4. So yeah. Like I may be leaving my room in a mess. I thought I was gonna be cleaning up before I left, but like it may be in a mess until I get back. But nevertheless, y'all, nevertheless, this is we do. This is what we do. This is what we do. Yes, my guest should appear, and then we will go into the question where her on the shot. I don't know how we do it. If y'all would please go ahead and share this. Yes. Okay. So my guest will be arriving in 4 minutes. And I want to remind you guys, if you're not here, my Monday morning motivational this morning, I want to encourage you guys to go over to, you can go, look, y'all can check me out on all kind of platforms now. You can go over to Podge page. You can go over to Podbean. You can go over to Amazon Music. You can go over to Google Podcasts. I am on so many platforms now. So there's no excuse why you cannot be motivated on Mondays. I air live at 9 a.m. every Monday morning, Eastern Standard Time, where I just want to educate, empower, and encourage you into your purpose. Because know that you did not get dropped out of the sky. There's a reason why you are here. And I just thank God for you. I thank him for you. And I thank him for the opportunity to be able to be in the midst. I tell you, people don't understand the power of networking, the power of collaborating, the power of coming together. And we can do more as a village than as an individual. And when we get it, I tell you, we're going to begin to grow. I just look back and see all the different things that was happening and taking place, and some of the things that could have been avoided in history. But we can't remove history. But how do we move on? How can we make sure that these things don't have to make sure that I tell you, the enemy be busy, boy. I had turned my phone off while I was on that last interview, and I'm just getting some messages in as we as I'm waiting for my guests to come in. As I'm waiting for my guests to come in. Just a reminder, you are tuned in to our Juneteenth celebration. I am the queen of collaboration, Angela Thomas Smith. And you are tuned. What is Juneteenth and why is it celebrated? Juneteenth is a blend of words. June and the 19th celebrates the end of enslavement in America. June 19, 1865, Union General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas. He informed the enslaved African Americans of their freedom and that the Civil War had ended.
Join us this Sunday, June 5th, 6 to 8 p.m. live streaming via YouTube and Facebook. Aspiring Authors Magazine Town Hall Meeting. The current state of our black race. Connect with Queen of Collaborations on linktree.com.
I was one of the ones who did. Y'all come on and help me sing.
Amen. I tell you, the enemy know he be busy, boy. Because as soon as they know I be live, and then they be want to keep calling and doing stuff that they don't normally do. I can be here all day long, and my phone will not ring. I won't get no ding. I won't go get no nothing. But as soon as I go live and try to be about my business, that's when I start getting all the dings, all the rings, all that foolishness. But again, you are tuned in to the Queen of Collaboration. Walk in Purpose with Angela. We are here celebrating Juneteenth and these amazing queens that are definitely creating and leaving a legacy. They are leaving their blueprint around this great world. Again, we've been talking about all kind of stuff today. I tell you, my first guest, she truly blessed me on this morning, this afternoon, and bringing in into this afternoon. I tell you, if she didn't have another engagement, she probably would be still here, and we probably would be still chatting it up. But I tell you, I'm definitely going to be bringing her back. Definitely going to be connecting with her, collaborating, partnering, getting some things going, because she's definitely moving and shaking and doing some things in this amazing world. So definitely. Yes, 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 yes. So yes, I'm still waiting on my guests, waiting on my guests, waiting on my guests, waiting on my guests, waiting on my guests. I know a lot of y'all probably been wondering, where has the queen been? The queen is in school. So queen been trying to maintain this honor society. So the queen has been having to really buckle down and do some things. So guess what? Today I turned in my last assignment for this quarter. And guess what the queen did again? Guess what the queen did again, y'all? The queen done did it again. Because guess what the queen got? Guess what the queen got? This is the queen grade. Yeah. This is the queen grade. Yeah. So this is what I got. It will be official tomorrow. But these are my grades. So I got A. And that's what not doing two perfect assignments. That last assignment I did, I got frustrated and I just said, you know what, I'm about to turn this thing in. And still I got higher than normal points. I got like 157 of the 175 points, which was okay. It still was an A. But y'all, over here moving and trying to move in perfection, I was not happy. But I was just glad to get through it and to be able to keep my sanity. No more honor classes for me. I don't want them. They can keep them. If that means I won't walk with an honor, I won't walk with honors degree, then fine. I don't need it, because it's just a lot of extra hard work. I just want to get through it. I don't need no extras, y'all. I don't need no extras. No extras. No extras. No extras. No extras. So I'm waiting on my guests. I'm waiting on my guests. I'm waiting on my guests. Waiting on my guests. About to see if she gonna show. While I'm waiting on my guests, don't know how, but you get it. Standing here. We're just gonna take a commercial break really quick. I'm gonna play this music until I'm back with my guests. And I do not own the rights to the music. I'm only playing this music as a commercial break, as an enter. Nothing can catch you by surprise. You got this figured out. Watch it now. When it looks as if we can't win, represent your arm and step in. Everything we need you to supply. You got this in control. Now we know that you made our way. When our backs were against the wall, and it looked as if it was over, you made our way. And we're standing here only because you made our way. You made a way. Now we're here, looking back on where we come from. Because of you and nothing we done to deserve the love and mercy you show. Your grace was strong enough to us all. You made a way when our backs were against the wall, and it looked as if it was Lord, you made a way. And we're standing here only because you made a way when our backs were against the wall, and it looked as if it was Lord, you made a way. And we're standing here only because you don't want to fall with your power. For me, recall there is nothing that's impossible. And we're standing here only because you made the way. You move mountains, you cause for the fall, you cause for with God, perform miracles. There is nothing that's impossible. And we're standing here only because you called for the walls to fall. With God, perform miracles. There is nothing that's it. And we're standing only because. Only because. Only because. You made you made you made know how. Don't know how, but you did it. Don't know how, but you did it. Don't know how, but you did it. And I don't know why. Why you saved me? Why you kept me? Why you good to me? Over and over. You keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on. Don't know why. I am back. I am back. I am back. I am back. I was trying to see if I could get my guest on. Um, I tell you, it's always something, y'all. Enemy always busy. It's a. I definitely the time um was probably confusing because y'all know I'm on the East Coast and we deal with people from all over the world, so the time sometimes can be confusing. But nevertheless, y'all know we keep it pushing. We keep it pushing. We keep it pushing. We keep it moving. I'm gonna hang tight. See if my guest's gonna show up. See if my guest is going to show up. Of course, y'all, I have a call coming in. So while I have this call coming in, I guess I'm going to go ahead and take this call, and then I'm going to put y'all on pause for just a second. Hold on. I apologize, y'all. I apologize. I apologize. Um, we are streaming live. This is our Juneteenth celebration. We have set aside time for 6 authors to be highlighted. So we have, I tell you, I truly was blessed by Dr. Velma Bagby on this morning. Her testimony is amazing. I'm excited to connect to her because I know her book is going to be amazing. She has done a workbook form of this book. She's done it in it's a nonfiction form of this book. I tell you, I am truly, truly glad to be connected to the people that I am connected to because y'all are amazing. Y'all are amazing. So y'all need to give yourselves a hand clap. I want to give a shout out to all of the amazing men, all of the amazing men that are impacting lives, that are touching lives. Even if you are not a dad or if you are not a father, just the mere fact that you are a king, that you were born into this world as a king. And I'm not talking about those that dress up to want to be a man, but those that are a man. You are a king. I am grateful for you. I thank God for you. And guess what? I am my brother's keeper. Know that you are important. Know that we care about you. You are needed. We need you. We want you. We desire you. So yes, keep on doing the great things that you are doing. Continue to walk in your greatness. Continue to walk in your purpose. Continue to take your throne because you are definitely a king that needs to be honored. So I thank you guys. I thank you for what you're doing. I want to thank all of you guys that have participated in the 55 Men of Legacy for creating and leaving a legacy. The importance of legacy, I tell you, just knowing that you have something that somebody will be able to remember you by. Something that somebody can remember you by. That blueprint. Because everybody may not see you, but somebody may be able to remember you. So I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. Again, you are tuned in to our Juneteenth celebration where we are just celebrating holiday from yesterday. A lot of people have it off as a federal holiday. Some people were offended by this day. And of course, we celebrate it because this is our second year of having it as a federal holiday, which is well overdue. But nevertheless, I see that our amazing guest is arrived. So I'm going to allow her to introduce herself. And then we're going to jump into the conversation, y'all. So if y'all will, if you have not already shared this, I want you to share this in your circle of influence because you never know who may need what is about to be shared. Because I tell you, today, I've been blessed. Dr. Velma Bagby, thank you for stopping by again. Thank you. So my next guest, hello, Queen. How are you? How are you? How are you? You are muted.
I see. How you doing, gorgeous?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I won't complain.
Yes, it's amazing. God is doing some amazing things. I'm so excited about the federal holiday, right? Okay. That's definitely improvement. So I'm thanking God for that. It's definitely something that was necessary and needed.
Definitely necessary. And then we still get a lot of complaints. But like I was saying and sharing earlier in the broadcast that we've celebrated a lot of holidays that we didn't want to celebrate or should not have celebrated, but we humbled ourselves and we celebrated them and we tried to make it be positive. So why can't we get the same respect? Because if you really truly think about Thanksgiving, I mean, it may be a happy time for us of the Caucasian persuasion and us of the brown persuasion, but think about those of the Native Americans.
Exactly.
That could be, I mean, it could be a trauma time for them. Mm-hmm. But yet we celebrate it, and we celebrate it heartily.
True.
So we don't think about these things when we be opening our mouth to speak. Like,
not even that. When you think of Independence Day, how many Independence Days were celebrated while we were still enslaved? So I'm
a whole bunch of them. Can we say 100 and?
I know, too many, way too many Independence Days.
One too many. See, and then they want to say, okay, so y'all celebrate y'all freedom from England while we was yet still captive.
Yes. Yes.
And we supposed to enjoy that, and we supposed to celebrate that, and it's supposed to be a joyful time for us. Okay, we traumatized. So pay me. Girl, so I'm asking everybody, I'm asking all states to take heed to California. Take heed to California, because California about to pay their people.
I need to be in California.
I need to too. I just said I'm about to take a trip, but I ain't talking about just taking a trip. I'm trying to relocate.
I'm telling you. I mean, the rest of these states better jump on board.
But it's just time for everybody to, and it's going to be the southern states that you're going to get all the resistance from. And I'm just being real. Because they were the ones that tried to keep us, they tried to keep the 15th Amendment from going forth. But it's already passed. You can't take back something you already don't pass. That's why they've been keeping it under wraps. But it ain't about, oh, girl. This is about you today, and this is about
I'm loving the conversation. I'm just enjoying the conversation.
Because I could get off on the whole. Me and the young, if the young lady didn't have somewhere to go, we probably would have been still in conversation. Dr. Velma is full of a lot of information. I told her I was going to share her with a couple of platforms, and your platform is one of them. She is a powerful woman author.
That I would love to have her. Absolutely love to have her,
because she's amazing. She is full of knowledge, and then the connections. Please share with those that are tuned in and those that may hear this replay. Exactly. Who are you?
Wow. Simply put, I'm just Chanel Coleman Wesley. I am a mother. I am a GG. I am a best-selling author. I'm a playwright, and I am a person, a child of God, most importantly, just a weak and broken vessel that he chooses to utilize in various capacities. And so I'm just thankful to be able to grace the stage. You are so amazing. And I'm sure everybody who's tuned in knows this already, just how phenomenal you are. Just how intentional you are. So I just want to thank you for being so phenomenal, and just for networking and for intercessing and for covering so many people who don't even know they're being covered. You're still covering them anyway. And so thank you for all the work that you are doing in just so many different capacities. So just thank you. And I'm very honored to be here today.
To God be the glory.
Yes. Amen. Amen.
To God be the glory. I tell you, y'all never cease to amaze me. But it's not about me. God has given me this platform. He allowed me this opportunity to be able to share. So today, Juneteenth, we celebrated Juneteenth on yesterday. And as I was sharing, I did a couple of videos and I recorded, it was to commemorate the fact that on June 19th, 1865, that general arrived in Galveston, Texas, to acknowledge and to let people know that they were free.
Yes.
And that they no longer had to be enslaved. And a lot of people were hurt because, they been free for a while. And they just not being told. Right. And it's not a coincidence. I'm sure that our teachers had already had a agenda for this, but I just did a presentation, and I chose to do mine on the civil rights movement. We could have on women equality. We could have did it on a number of different things, but the fact that in the midst of everybody else taking out history and removing stuff from the public schools and taking stuff out, it just touched my heart that this school decided, and my teacher, my professor was Caucasian, decided to touch on these topics.
Wow.
And I'm just so proud of my little presentation. I was upset because I thought I was going to flunk it, and got 157 out.
I know that's right.
175 points that was off. I said, thank you. I was upset. I got upset with the project, and I said, you know what? I couldn't get it to 3 to 5 minutes because I had so much I wanted to share, and I couldn't get my time down. It ended up being 7 minutes, and I got frustrated, and I just said, forget it. But she said it was so, just the fact that how I presented it, and that I took the extra time to do the presentation part of it. She thanked me for that, and I guess that's why I got all the points. But nevertheless, your girl got her. That's all.
Yay! Congrats! Congrats.
Tomorrow.
I love it.
Touched on how at the end of the American Civil War, the civil rights movement took off, and how different people. If you look at Mr. White, he was one of the individuals that went on the cover for, and this man he appeared to be white, but he's of African descent. That's all they kept saying, is he's of African descent. So we truly don't know. But to me, he appears to be white. But he said there were plenty of times, but the way he talked and shared, you definitely have to think that, okay, this is a black man, because why would they be trying to kill him? But he shared at how things took place. You know, these people felt so comfortable with him that they openly talked about how they killed us.
Wow.
How lynching and how the people that are in office, how these people that we voted in, so they're gonna do what we tell them to do, whether they want to or not. And I truly think that is still the mentality of this day. You know, in 1967, President Lyndon Johnson, he launched a commission to have a review of the current state of America because of the race riots. Right. And of the lynching, all of the lynching cases that had been brought to his attention. Why? Because when they freed us, they didn't teach us how to read, they didn't teach us how to write, they didn't teach us how to do a lot of stuff. So of course we was missing out, because everything that they wanted to do, what they always say, you want to do, hide it in the book. So they was hiding in newspapers, they was hiding in a lot of stuff, and then a lot of this stuff was happening in little cities. So of course they weren't talking about it. So we were just, we was fed up, and we began to speak out.
Right.
And then in speaking out, that's how a lot of these movements began.
Yes.
So I'm thankful for Juneteenth.
Yes.
I'm thankful for authors. Mm-hmm. I love authors, because authors, they provide an opportunity to share their stories without limits. Without somebody saying, "Oh, this is how something should be. This is how the story should go." They get to tell their story, because don't nobody know your story but you, and nobody can tell your story like you. So I love authors just for that reason. Today, we have the opportunity to see a little bit about you, to see into how Chanel views this life, and how Chanel views this world. What can you take away from Juneteenth to make this a better world for yourself and for those that are coming after you?
I think there are so many amazing lessons that come with Juneteenth. Number one, it just teaches, the urgency of now. Sometimes we wait and we put things off We'll come to it when we come to it. Um, the entire movement for Juneteenth is just celebrating our independence. And just because we were independent did not necessarily signal that we were going to not necessarily be free, because there were so many things that were denied to us, because there was restriction on our education, because we didn't have the same economic status that Caucasians had at that time, and still now, proper housing, all of these different things, healthcare disparities, so many things we were at a disadvantage from. And I think it's just important for us to recognize the urgency of now, not thinking that we're going to put it off to the next generation to do something, that it really begins and ends with us. Carrying that torch and then handing over the baton once we finish our leg of the race. We can't try to pass the baton off prematurely before it's time for us to pass it off, but to run our leg of the race and then pass things on to our posterity for them to pick up the mantle and to continue to run, because there are so many inequalities that we are still fighting to this day. So, I mean, I would like to say that once Juneteenth happened, we just rolled into the sunset and everything was just going to be amazing afterwards. But still today in 2022, we're still having racial disparity. There's so many injustices that we are fighting on so many various levels. And while I respect the police departments, but there is a lot of things that are slighted towards Blacks. A lot of profiling, things that are happening on a social, economic, and on a racial basis. Some things that people in other jurisdictions are not really, they don't have those same encumbrances that we face as a people. And so I just think it's necessary, the urgency of now, of just doing what we have to do now. That word had to be declared because so many people weren't aware that we're free, and sometimes now it's like we don't even recognize when we are being enslaved. You know what I'm saying? When there are systems and things that are being put into place that are stripping us of our civil, religious, all types of liberties, and we don't even recognize those things today. It's still an urgency of now recognizing, hey, there are some disparities that are going on here, and we have to call attention to these things, and it's necessary. Does it make sometimes conversation or life uncomfortable? Yes, but dealing with it is uncomfortable as well. And so sometimes we have to be comfortable with dealing with uncomfortable conversations. That's necessary for growth. Growth never happens in a comfortable place. We have to be able to be willing to ruffle little feathers, have some rough edges. All of those things are necessary for us to be able to just to elevate and to go where God is really leading us to go. And so, like I said, it's just the urgency of now. We got to keep moving. We have to keep pushing. We can't think it's all done. Everything is, they did the civil rights movement. We're still fighting today. So, and if you don't recognize we're still fighting today, then you have to wake up.
You better wake up.
Mm-hmm. Gotta wake up.
I'm telling you, better wake up. If you just understood, right after the 15th Amendment was passed, they went right back and was undermining it. You talk about it was passed in 1865, and in 1867 they was undermining, and it was the Southern Confederate troops that was supposedly fighting for us that was undermining us. But you say you fought for us, but then you don't want to vote. We not worthy enough to vote. Like, come on now, how is that? That's why I said they that's just like I'm telling you, you see some stuff and it makes you wonder.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this though. I'm from the Midwest, Wisconsin. Born and raised. One thing that I can say about the South, my time living in the South for a few years in Huntsville, Alabama, I did appreciate people's straightforwardness. You see what you get. You don't have to kind of second guess what it is, because they're very open and very they're willing to articulate what their feelings are. In the North, not so. Milwaukee has been deemed the Selma of the North. There are so many racial disparities that happen here in the North, and it's all swept under the rug, and it makes it seem like everything is okay and we're smiling, but it's not. It's not that way. Sometimes I would prefer for someone to say, you know what, hey, I'm not for you, and I'm not ever going to be for you, and this is just where we are, versus a person or or institutions seemingly welcoming, seemingly willing to make certain allowances or make certain extensions, but then really not behind closed doors. The politics are the same, just marginalizing um, various groups. So it's that's one thing I could say about the North, especially living in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's just even still today, the city, for it to be as big as it is, so very racially segregated. You know, there are still parts that, Caucasians stay there, blacks stay a certain place, Latino, it's not really too much intermingling. And again, this is in 2022. And no one has to say, don't go there. You just know it's just kind of indoctrinated where certain races live. And so, like I said, it's just sometimes we don't recognize we're enslaved, and we have to be able to have somebody just tell us again, hey, you got to wake up, and you got to wake up today. Now is a good time for you to wake up. And so, like I said, it's just a lot that God really has his ideal for us as a people, because he's blessed us with so many, insurmountable odds that we've had to overcome through his grace, through his wisdom, through his provision. We were able to overcome so much. And there's so much more that he still wants us to be able to overcome. And so the fight is really not over. And so, like I said, I think it's important that we recognize the times and the days in which we live, and the fact that we are able to make so many things by being vocal. There was a time when you couldn't speak out. There was a time when if you spoke out, it would cost you your life. There were times that if you spoke out, you were alienated and ostracized because nobody else wanted to get involved with that, because it's like, hey, you're going to be bringing drama and madness over here, and then I'm going to have chaos over here at my household. Or if I have a situation where I'm having a credit with a business owner, if I'm tied to you now, I'm going to be cut off from these systems and things. And so, like I said, there have been some advances, but there are so many more that we need to make.
Right. I mean, it's so much. It's so many more steps that we need to take.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just over here just, whoo, knowledge. I tell you, knowledge is key.
It is.
And staying woke and realizing that it's going to take all of us.
Yes.
I want that village mentality back.
Yes.
I want that village mentality back that people think cannot come back, but I'm here to let them know that it can.
Mm-hmm.
It can. But yeah, how did you get here? Because statistics would say that you shouldn't even be an author, that you don't have nothing worthy enough to say.
Mm-hmm.
You a woman and you brown.
Honey, ain't I a woman? As Sojourner Truth would say, ain't I a woman? How did I get here? I've always loved reading. Writing came for me as a place of therapy. As a child, I encountered a lot of sexual abuse and assault, and I think it was really important to me to create stories. Sometimes when you don't like the narrative that you're currently facing, you can sometimes make a alternate reality. And so as a survivor of abuse, oftentimes my mind would drift and create stories. And I love stories for its ability to be able to transcend and its ability to transform. In a story, you can turn a hero into a villain into a hero. You can do so many things. You can take tragedy and turn it into triumph. And so I love the ability to tell stories for its ability to be able to be redemptive. And so like I said before, as a survivor of abuse, I love stories because each time I tell a story, I emerge more powerfully on the end of it. So it's been very therapeutic to me, and it's something that I would encourage others, especially if they've encountered any abuse, trauma, things that they might still be grappling with. Writing is such a amazing tool to be able to express yourself and to be able to connect with people who may have experienced some things similar to you, or who are curious about some things that have happened in life. It gives an account. It could be a first person account, or you can just make up something fictitious that may also be able to resonate with an audience. And so that's really how I became an author.
Wow.
I wanted to be an author like since 7 or 8, but I didn't physically become an author until 45.
Wow. And then I think back, and I was just I was an author a long time ago and didn't even realize it, because when we were when I took the Spanish, I think it was Spanish 3. We took Spanish 3. Our teacher, she had us make these little books. We made these little the character books for the kids, elementary kids. And we laminated them. We did everything. We had to draw the pictures. We had to bind them. We had to come up with a way to put them together. And we actually took them over to the school. We wrote them in English and in Spanish.
Wow.
And we had to take them over to the elementary school and read them to the kids. So I wonder if those books are still at that school.
That would be nice, huh?
But that was the first time I ever wrote. I didn't even realize that I actually but it was not published per se.
Yeah.
But
okay, well, if we count that, then I've been writing for a while. I didn't get published to this year, and it's amazing.
Wow. And just to think, wow, I never thought writing. No, I used to I ran from that, but now, yes, I did not like writing. I didn't like writing nor reading.
What?
Math and science. Math and science.
Okay, I used
math
to
and
math
science. Math was my absolute.
And writing
was my absolute. I read because I had to. Like they made me read every day for 30 minutes. So I read. That's what I had to do. I read. So, and then when we got in third, fourth grade, when we were old enough to start going and getting your little prizes or whatever, I read because they made me and they was giving me stuff. Not because I wanted to and I loved it. No, I'm just being honest.
No, I mean, I appreciate the honesty. I think because sometimes those things develop later on in life.
But I did do it. I mean, that was something that I constantly did. Like, I was always reading above my reading level. So that was one of the things, I always focus on my kids about reading, kids that I work with, whether you want to or not, it will help you. And then it will grow on you. Like, I don't love it, but I do it. Like, some people just love. Like, they just get happy reading. Now, it don't do me like that. Like, I can't just, like, books like this, I can't just sit down and read books like this for in no hour. Like, I literally had people say they went through and they read our whole prayer book in 402 pages in an hour. No, I would have been reading some, and then I would have been putting it down. I don't care how interesting it was. That's just me. And then I'll be all over the place. But you are doing some amazing things. You said you are a playwright.
Yeah.
Like, that is just another way of sharing your story and being expressive. Something that they have taken away from us as brown people, because we are creative. And a lot of the schools, no music, no arts, history out. So what are they teaching our kids? But okay, anyway, you do playwrights, right? How did you get into that?
I think just as, like I said, just developing things from being a survivor of abuse. Again, it just creates the ability to tell a story. And sometimes it's easier to tell somebody else's story than to tell your own when you feel like you don't have a voice. And so I would always create stories, even as a kid, like just very wild, very vivid imagination, just on different things. I just started telling stories, and I just have always loved to tell a story. And so playwriting is just another form of telling a story. And so a lot of times I think of a premise or a message that I want to convey, and then I just build characters and then narration around this whole focal theme. My latest screenplay is The Beautiful Truth About an Ugly Lie. And the premise of the story talks about six sisters who are dealing with this family secret. Because let's face it, every family has their secrets. And there is a secret that they are grappling with. They're trying to maintain in control of the family business. They encounter some situations that really cause some despair. And so the secret is threatening to come out and tear the family apart, which again is six sisters. And they are introduced to Dr. Watkins, who is this therapist who is grappling to try to keep the family together before the secret finally tears them apart. And so it's just amazing. It's one thing when you're kind of thinking out and writing down story and you're giving it narration and you're thinking back behind it, well, what type of emotions do I want to convey with this, and how does this person say this, and kind of interplay between everyone. And it's something altogether different when you have people come in, take your project and just breathe into it, and it becomes like a living being. It's just, I can't even really put it into just like words that would adequately describe it, but it's just really like so surreal because like just when we were having rehearsals and everything else, just seeing everybody just like, you took it and you just like, you brought her to life, you made her so real. I mean, we had moments when people were just like, you know what, I'm not even supposed to be crying right now, but I'm but I'm crying because they just really embodied the characters. And so, like I said, it's like you get to see them from an incubation stage all the way to maturity. And so it's amazing. And it's also great to be able to connect with an audience, to perform live, to see people's responses to what you're creating. And of course, you always want people to love what you do. But I always try to provide a teaching moment. And sometimes some of the principles or ideas that you may be teaching may not necessarily be popular, um, but it doesn't mean that it no less wise needs to be said. And so um, I love having that vehicle to be able to utilize, to be able to share messages, especially that I feel as if God has placed on my heart to be able to share. And so it's like I said, it's just an amazing process. I love it. If you've never done it, I would encourage you to do so.
Wow. You sharing some stuff, and you educating us, empowering us, and encouraging us. Like that's my thing. And this is the opportunity. I'm telling people this is the opportunity to tell your story.
Yes.
Because can nobody tell your story like you, whether it's in print or it's in a play. You get an opportunity to share your story. And I thank you for providing that opportunity. Not only are you providing it for yourself and creating that legacy for your family, but you're giving other people opportunity through your collaboration in the projects that you're doing, through your plays and through your Black Women Authors Group.
Well, that's our group though, but okay.
Group that I am I'm just excited to be a part of. I love the women over there
Yes.
that are a part of it. They are amazing.
Yes.
But I thank you because I've been a part of a couple groups and a part of groups that do similar things. But this one, I tell you, I am at home. I feel the love, and it is definitely what I strive to share, and that is that village mentality.
Yes.
It's not about us individually, but it's about us together. That if the togetherness comes, the individual will follow.
Yes,
Hmm.
it will.
It will. Because if we got it together as a village, then of course you have it together as an individual.
Yes,
Then once the village get it together, then individually you there.
right.
And if we grasp that concept, I'm telling you, we will be some powerful people again.
Yeah, you know what?
Again.
And I think that that's the thing. I think a lot of times when we do things, I think we're more so feeling as if we need to be individually focused on what we're doing and what I have and I. But when you say you cut yourself off from so many opportunities and so many things that God is truly designed for you to have through connection. I think it's powerful that Adam was created and everything that he could possibly want or desire was at his fingertips. And even though he had communion with God and communion with angels, he still needed communion with another human being. And sometimes we think that God created Eve as an afterthought. Well, okay, now Adam wants a woman, and so now I'm going to create a woman. I hadn't planned on it. No, he intended to make her, but he needed Adam to recognize and to realize, even in perfection, that he needed community. He needed someone to work with, someone to build with, someone to share, someone to do all of these amazing things with. And like I said, when we're so I focused that we can't allow someone else to be able to share with us, to build with us, to grow with us, we are cutting ourselves off from so much. And you think you're going forward and you think you're pushing yourself and you think you're propelling, but you will never reach the pinnacles that God has designed for you until you connect with someone else. It's what we are designed to do. It's our human nature, for us to have community, for us to share. And so Black women authors is something that I'm very passionate about, because it's about supporting and allowing one another to minister to each other. It's not an I focused group. It's very much so a group mentality or village mentality, and it's like that by design. If we want to just push our own things, then we got plenty of time to go ahead and to do that on our own, and it gets lonely. And you need people to be able to share ideas with, and you need people who may have knowledge that you don't have, or access to a different resource than what you have. But if I have something and I'm willing to share with you, and I have my gifts, my talents, and my time and my resources and things that I can do, and then you can bring those same things to me, and we can share and do those things together. And I think, like I said, I really agree with you said with that ideal. If we could get the community, get the idea of the village back into our communities, we would be unstoppable. There was a time in history, especially in the civil rights movement, because truly, um, when you think of the boycott, in Montgomery for the bus system, people could have said, well, you know what, that's Rosa and her issue. I mean, because she wasn't the first person to stand up, but she was the person who could fit the scrutiny and all of the things that were going to come in conjunction with putting someone out there. And, other people could have said, well, you know what, I still got to get to work, you know, but I can't, get involved with this boycott. Everybody took up this particular thing. And although, I mean, they faced so much, disparity trying to make it happen, they did. They successfully desegregated the bus system. And so this is something that all of us have a benefit from now, even to this day. You know, it took a community saying, hey, we're going to sit in. Hey, we're going to do freedom rides. And it wasn't just African Americans, although primarily it was based with us. But there were some Caucasians who stood up to the injustice and said, you know what? This isn't right. I'm not going to stand with the majority and be silent. I'm going to go down there. I'm going to put my life on the line by dealing with, connecting with this community to push for their civil and human rights. And that's really what it took. And so as writers and as people, if we could just kind of adopt that same mentality, the sky would be the limit. The sky would literally be the limit because we would be unstoppable. We would be so much more powerful if we understood the ability to be able to network and to collaborate. And that's one thing I can say about you, Queen. Anybody know you? She is literally the queen of collaborations, like literally. Sometimes people say things and it's just like it's an advertisement tag, or it's something that they maybe be a popular trend, or something they feel like, well, okay, if I say this about myself, it sounds good. If it's you, it's it's literally you. It's literally who you are. You
Like, I
are
didn't
the
ask
queen
for
of
this, and if I could throw it away, I would throw it away. Like,
No,
literally,
you couldn't
I
because
did
it's
not
you.
ask for this. Like, literally, somebody spoke this over my life. Like, Queen of Collaboration. I never. Who said, honey? I was Miss Lady A. That's who I was, Miss Lady A. And somebody kept calling me Queen of Collaboration, Queen of Collaboration, Queen of Collaboration, Queen of Collaboration. I just say, that sounds good.
But you are. I mean,
Nobody had it in Gmail. Nobody.
I'm
I
telling you,
said,
but
well,
you literally
I
are.
said, this sounds like me. And it just grew on me. Like, literally, it just grew on me. And one day, here I am.
I mean, but I'm just telling you, you literally are. Some people have a name and they can never live up to that name because the name is not realistic. It doesn't fit their skill set or their abilities or the things that they're currently doing, or maybe even what their interests might lie in. But you literally are the queen of collaborations. You are. You just instinctively do it. It's just second nature to you. And I think that that's just an amazing thing. And I think if we could adopt that more as a people, just thinking about Juneteenth and all of the things, the strides that we have made in past, presently, and the things that we need to do in the future. If we were willing to collaborate, if we were willing to network, we would be so much more powerful, so much more unstoppable.
Wow. That is
Collaborations are
so true.
everything.
That is so true.
Yeah,
I
collaborations are
definitely, I definitely want individuals to be able to connect with you, and I want to challenge all of my Black women authors to go on over and join our group. If you are truly interested in collaborating, partnering, and
everything.
networking and being genuine, this is the group for you because I felt totally at home. So thank you for creating this group. How can individuals reach out to you and support the many things that you're doing?
Well, if they want to connect specifically with Black women authors, then they can reach us by Gmail at blackwomenauthors@gmail.com. They can also like our page on Facebook, Black Women Authors on Facebook. They can also go to join the group there so that they can connect. And again, we want to be able to provide a platform that's by us, that's for us, and that supports us. And it's important to be able to have representation. And so if there's a person who's in their writing journey, whether they're just starting off or they've already begun their journey and they're just continuing and they want to meet with a tribe that's going to push them, that's going to inspire, that's going to encourage, but that's also going to hold them accountable, then they definitely want to be able to link up with us in that respect. And if they're trying to connect with me, then they can find me on CC's Inc. That's CECI''SINK on Facebook, CC's Inc. at gmail.com, Chanel Coleman Wesley across Twitter, Instagram, and everything Chanel Coleman or CC's Inc. or BWA. Either way, it's amazing. But I definitely would love to connect with people because again, we do have an amazing upcoming gospel stage play entitled "The Beautiful Truth About an Ugly Lie." So we would love to be able to connect with them. Oh, and my website,
Yes.
www.cczinc.com. That's easy to connect with me to.
Amen. Amen. Well, I want to thank you for stopping by today and sharing with us on this Juneteenth celebration as we're honoring our women that are creating and leaving a legacy. You're definitely doing that. So I thank you. I thank you for just being that voice for that one that may think they don't have a voice. So keep leading by example. I tell people in this season we have to learn, love, and lead.
Yes, yes. And thank you so much, Gorgeous, for having me on. I'm truly, truly thankful. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you, thank you. I have to have you back again.
Please do. I'm
Yeah.
here. Let me know whenever you I'm always ready.
Well, thank you for stopping by. Have to prepare for my next guest. You know what?
Yes,
The marathon continues. We celebrating Juneteenth. We celebrating being free,
yes.
free to speak, free to share, free to live our truth. You be blessed. Happy Monday. Guess what? This is the best Monday of the rest of your life. Go be
Mm,
blessed.
thank you.
Amen. 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 I definitely want to thank you guys for stopping in and sharing with us. Make sure that you go over, support her on Facebook, support her on all her social media platforms. Um, Grab a copy of that book that she was sharing about. She's actually a part of a couple anthologies. Grab some of those anthologies. Get connected with that play that she's getting ready to release. Get involved. I'm going to play a song really quick while I get ready for my next guest to come on in. So let me get this music in cue. And the next voice you hear will be that of our next guest.
I was like, Lord, what am I going to do? I have all these responsibilities, all this going on, and it seems like I'm doing everything I can for you, and everything is just going opposite. Anybody ever been there? It seems like you were doing all.
I do not own the rights to this music. This music in the background is being played as entertainment.
You saying, God, what in the world is going on? I was sitting in my kitchen, and I didn't understand it. And then these words came. I said, Lord, you are good. You've been so good. Lord, you are good. You've been better than good. I can't praise you enough. Oh, you, my life, can't praise you enough. Even if I try, 'cause you've been so good. Lift your voice. Come on, tell me today. So good to me. Let's go out here, everybody. Lift your voice. You are good. You've been so good. Come on, say, Lord, you are good. You are good. You've been better than good. I can't praise you enough. It's because I owe you, Jesus. I owe you my life. Can't praise you enough. Somebody say, even if I try, it wouldn't work. It's so good to me. Hallelujah to your name, God. Come on, lift up those voices and declare today. Lord, you've been so good. Lord, you are good. You've been good. I owe you my life. I can't praise you enough. Somebody say, even if I tried, it wouldn't work because. Come on and lift up your voices. So good to me. Come on, you've been so good. I don't know why you do it, God. God knows the great. Somebody declare, even if I had 10,000, it wouldn't work because so good, you've been so good, of the goodness of our Savior. So many doors, so many ways you made, so many times. Has He been better than good to anybody? So many doors, so many ways, so many times. Tell somebody you've been better than good to me. So many doors, so many ways, so many times. You've been better, you've been better. So many doors, keep begin to come away. You heal me, you bless me. Over and over. You're better than good to me. You're better than good to me. You've been better. I should have lost my mind a long time ago. You've been better. To give you all the glory today. When I think of the goodness of Jesus, I have to say, you've been better. You've been better. I was sitting over the dishes with tears in my eyes, and I had to declare out of the hard place that you've still been better. I can never repay you, Lord. I can never repay you, Lord. I can never repay you, Lord, for what you've done for me. How you loose my shackles, how you set me free, how you made a way when
What is Juneteenth and why is it celebrated? Juneteenth is a blend of words. June and the 19th celebrates the end of enslavement in America. June 19th, 1865, Union General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas. He informed the enslaved African Americans of their freedom and that the Civil War had ended. Amen, amen, amen. I am back. I tell you, technology is something, boy. It will not work when you want it to work. It worked when it won't. But I tell you, we never stop. We keep pressing. We keep pressing. We keep pressing. We keep pressing. Y'all know I am preparing to get ready to get on this plane to head to Atlanta in a couple of hours. I'm excited about Juneteenth. We celebrated it on yesterday. We've been sharing some authors that are leaving their legacy. They are creating and leaving a legacy, y'all. They're telling their story. They're not allowing anyone else to tell their story. Guess what? They are authors. They are authors, and they're sharing their story. So I have another amazing individual that's stopping by to share and to add her piece to the pot. That's what we doing. We just adding it on. We just adding it on. We telling our story. So I'm going to move out the way, y'all. I'm going to move out the way and allow her to come on in and introduce herself and share just a little bit. Hello. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? Thank you for having me on your show.
I am great. Well, welcome. If you would, please introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Zenashe, and I will now unfold the story behind that name and the lessons that it holds. 20 years ago, I worked my way through college ed. Waitressing, I paid the bills, 3 jobs in all. I bled. A day arrived so full of strife, coworkers craved the pill that kept a smile upon my face when they all wanted to kill. What are you on that gives you rest? I need some of your Zen, they stressed. I smiled and just confessed my faith is all I need. Fast forward 10, and once again, a day arrived with rage, and in the midst of chaos, others marveled at my grace, hung around, embraced my calm, my total centeredness. Again, they intoned Zen you be, but I did not see that in me until I embraced my destiny. I had to give in. It took me 20 years to see the purpose of my life, to calm and soothe and to inspire, to dim effects of strife. Ashe came next, a word that means so be it, like amen. Yoruba in origin, it bonds me to lost kin, yet deeper still, like Shayla written in the Psalms, it means be still and meditate on what you read, ponder long. Yet even more, it means my words exhale with force. They live, they breathe, they change the world, they alter my own course. A writer and a poet, this name states my destiny to exhale living, breathing words that change humanity, that encourage people to consider truth and challenge them to grow, because at the end of everything, self knowledge must unfold. And so now you know my purpose and you understand my plan. You have just entered the state of Zen, never be the same again.
Wow.
So, thank you. So that's a little bit about me.
That was amazing.
Thank you. So I'm an author, podcaster, educator. I'm retiring in January after 28 years in education. I am a consultant. I am a voiceover artist. So I do a lot of things.
Wow. Wow, you are definitely creating and leaving a legacy. You are definitely telling your own story. You're not leaving room for anyone else to say if and or what if. I thank you for that. I thank you for that. I tell you, we are a day after. Some are celebrating this holiday on today. Those that are working, it is a national holiday, so some people are out of work on today. But we're celebrating Juneteenth.
Yes.
For the second year. It is now being recognized as a national holiday, should have been recognized as a national holiday, but now it is. Some can beg or to differ, but nevertheless, we're here to celebrate because it is a part of our history. And what does that mean to you? What does Juneteenth mean to you?
It means several things to me. I mean, first, there is the initial recognition that we were deprived of information that kept us at a disadvantage, kept us enslaved for 2 more years in the state of Texas than everyone else that was already moving on to reconstruction and freedom. So it kind of reinforces the power of education, the power of information, and making sure that you have access to that. But then also, it just reinforces that we've come so far since then, and we still have so far to go. So to me, it's an accountability thing. We do need to make sure we're all informed, we're all moving forward, nobody's left behind, as a community. And so there's that responsibility piece of us trying to work together to pull everybody forward, and then just to honor our ancestors and to, as they say, become our ancestors' wildest dreams, to not let the obstacles we currently have hold us back, because they have many bigger obstacles
Exactly.
than we have. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I just like how it just seemed like that just you just put it together nicely. Like that was
Thank
nice.
you.
Like and it rhymed. Wow. You are gifted in so many
Oh,
ways.
thank you.
Poetry. I'm not a writer. People kept saying I'm not a poet, I guess you would say. But people kept saying you should write poetry. You should write poetry. So I've done 3 poetry books with collaboration poetry books, not me by myself. It's just words. And are you a spoken word artist? Do you perform spoken word
I
artist?
do. I
Because if you
do.
don't, you should.
Yes.
Because you just sound. It just rolls. You
Thank
are.
you.
Oh my God. So tell us about your books.
I have 2 books on Amazon. I have 3 books total. The first book that I wrote is actually this book, which I think my light is too bright. It's called Synergize Your Life. Let me see if I can turn it off for a second because I think it's a little too bright. Oh, there we go. Oh, and this is actually a guided journal. Um, and so basically, I think you can see it a little better now. Um, it's basically every page is a different topic, and it has journal prompts in it. It also has pages for you to put pictures of ancestors and contemporaries that you want to use as role models, for you to put songs, movies, books, for you to do goal setting, for you to do visualization. So there's a lot of different activities in here, and it's very thin. It's only 20 topics. So I tried to take the best things that I saw about guided journals and get rid of all the worst things, because this is not where you're going to come to the same prompt every day. Every day is a different, every time you come to it is a different topic. It's different prompts. So there's gratitude prompts, there's reflection prompts, affirmation prompts, visualization prompts. So all kind of different prompts and different activities. So this was the first one that I wrote. That's on Amazon, or you can order it from me. Either way, is Energize Your Life, Volume 1. I actually have a volume 2, which actually continues the journey. And this is actually a package where you can actually get the journal and like a motivational keychain and tabs and a bookmark with it. So that continues the journey. And the last book that I wrote was actually this, which is my poetry prose memoir, which actually has the last 7 years of my life. So it begins the day that I got divorced. And the first thing I needed to do was kind of get my attitude together. So it's got the A to Z of my life. And there's actually a timeline of the 7 years. And the first chapter is called Attitude. And every time that you see a fish, that's actually a guy. All the guys have nicknames. So my personal story is that I went to college. I was a virgin. I got married right out of college, had dated very, very little, and went on and had kids, stayed married, got divorced, got married again. And then I got divorced in 2014. So I felt I really hadn't experienced a lot of the things that other women have experienced. I hadn't dated a lot. I was very naive about men when I got married. And so I decided I wanted to date, and so I actually went on 147 dates in 7 years. That wasn't my intention, but that just is actually the way it happened. And because I was a journaler, I was journaling all the time. And I never really intended on writing a book about it, but I was writing so much poetry about it. People kept saying, "Where's your book? Where's your poetry book? Where's your poetry book?" And then I decided to make it into a poetry book and a memoir, because I had learned so much, about myself, about men, about relationships. So actually, every time you see pens, that's a poem. So there's actually 92 poems in the book. And at the end of every chapter, there's actually a lesson. There's like a little, you can see probably that little light bulb moment. And so lesson 1 is stop being a rose, be the whole damn bush. And whenever you see, the fish going across, like you see on this page, that's actually catching you up to the present, where I'm still in contact with some of the men that I dated in the past. And at the end of the book, it actually has all 26 lessons that I learned in that 7-year period, because I learned a whole lot. I mean, I had a lot of experiences. It's not just a dating book. In the last 7 years, I also lost 13 people in my life. So it's a book about dealing with grief, dealing with change, adapting. It's a book about self-exploration, just getting into your confidence. Because 7 years ago, I was not a spoken word artist. I was not a podcaster. I was not a voiceover artist. All of these things have happened in the last 7 years. So I decided to take a risk on myself. I decided to follow my dreams. I decided to just move beyond my comfort zone. And so you get to see me step by step going through that process of becoming the best self that I can be. And so that's really what the book is about, So those are the 3 books that I have.
Wow. I was just sitting over here like, wow, this is just amazing, like intentional. Like all 3 of my guests today have been on one accord. So those that are tuning in and those that are going to hear this replay, it's just going to be amazing, because, relationships can teach us so much, so many different lessons about life. And you can take those lessons that we've learned from relationships and apply them to our lives. And that's what you've done. So thank you for that book. Like I'm
Oh,
ready
thank
to
you.
go out and buy it because like 147 7 years. Well, I'm like
Yeah.
you. I was naive. I was naive. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of tips and a lot of wisdom inside of that book. So thank you. Thank you for being transparent because I know it came with some transparency. Everybody can't tell their story. So thank you. Thank you for sharing your truth so that other people can be healed and that they can
Well,
continue on this journey because that's what it's about. You're helping the village because a lot of us we see things that need to be addressed, but we won't address them because we're afraid of the backlash. That's what my guest before you, that's what she was talking about. She said there was plenty of Rosa Parks before Rosa Parks, but Rosa Parks she just didn't back down. She stood and she was willing to go through. And there's been a lot of people's cases. So thank you,
thank you.
because
I
you're
appreciate it.
in the fire because you're a podcaster, you're doing voiceovers, you're standing up and doing spoken word in front of people. Wow, you are amazing. Thank you for creating and leaving a legacy so that those that come after us will have a blueprint. They will have an outline. They will have someone to look to for inspiration and guidance. Thank you. Thank you for keeping your ancestors' memories alive and catching hope to their spirits and moving. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for saying all that. That was very beautiful words. Thank you. And I do understand what she's saying. When you're trying to be transparent, there is a fear of being judged, being criticized, being labeled. There are several parts in the book where I actually talk to the audience and I say, you might be thinking this about me, but here's another way you could look at it. You can think whatever you can think, but here's an alternative view. Rather than see me this way, maybe you could see me this way. And that was another thing I wanted to bring out in the book is sometimes we judge people and we think it can only be seen one way, but really there's so many ways to see certain circumstances and situations. And why choose the most negative way when there could be a more positive way? Or you could just ask the person and say, hey, I'm thinking that what you did meant this. Is that really what it meant? Was something else going on? you know and you might learn that, oh, you were misinterpreting the whole thing. So that's something that I was trying to do with the book, because as I was writing it, I was thinking about all the different negative portrayals. Even just saying that I went on that many dates, there's going to be, she was trying to get men for their money. No, because not every date even involved money. I wasn't. Um, or she was just using men. No, actually, I wasn't. There were some dates I paid for. There were some dates
Exactly.
that
That's
didn't
what I was gonna
involve
say. How
any
they
money.
know you didn't pay?
Yeah, exactly. So, so there were so many different things that happened. Um, and then there's the idea that I'm writing a book to bash men. No, actually, I give a lot of props to a lot of men in the book. In fact, I've had more men buy the book and do reviews on the book than women. Um, because they want to learn about women and how we think and what we get out of dating and what we see about relationships. So it's one of those things where they're like, "Ooh, this could be a manual," which
Right.
could be good or bad. But yeah, so it's been an experience, and it's been humbling and uplifting, and I'm very grateful that people are receiving the book the way that they're receiving it, because I was really giving it in terms of when I looked at the last 7 years of my life. I wished that somebody had told me some of the things that I learned through pain and suffering. I wished that I had had an older sister or a aunt or somebody who sat me down and said, "Look, baby, let me tell you some things," but I had to learn it on my own,
So
so
you can do what you're doing right now.
I could do what I'm doing right now and say, this may not fit everybody. This is my personal experience. Take what works for you, take what helps you, leave the rest alone, you
That's
know.
it.
So
That's it. And that's with anything. Your experience is your experience. But what your experience and how you overcame could help somebody else. Not saying that you're gonna do the same things that I did, or that the same thing's gonna work, but who knows unless you try. But I'm giving you an alternative. I'm giving you a perspective.
Right.
And see, a lot of us don't have that. We didn't have that. It's like I ain't have nobody pouring into me. So I had to go down that road. So that I went down that road. I'm like you, I want to share some things so you can take it, use what you can, and whatnot, keep it pushing. That's how we grow.
Yes, ma'am.
But if we sit on it, nobody evolves. But because you was transparent and because you shared, people have alternatives. Let me see if this works. Let me see if this works. Let me try this. So thank you for those 7 years.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you for enduring, because I know it wasn't easy, because hey, you had to deal with some stuff. People think going on dates is easy. Huh. What about them? What about them spirits you had to deal with? All them people that they don't date it before. See, people don't know about that. We don't talk about those things. Them emotion roller coasters and stuff.
Right. And then also the whole, I think a new idea that's coming out for women is this idea of dating and having options, because I was raised, hey, you need to go to college and you're looking for a husband while you're there. And when an eligible man who seems to be together comes and presents himself to you, you really need to kind of take him seriously and not even really think about, well, what do I want? Do I want him? It's more of he picked you. So if he is a quality person, a good man, let's just say a good man, if he's a good man, then you got no right to say no, in a sense. And there's still that idea out, and I deal with that idea in the book a lot, that women should just take any good man that comes along, especially if they're a little older, especially if they're overweight, especially if this. And then there comes the idea, this is my life. If I can choose in other areas, I don't have to take any job that comes along. I don't have to take any car I can afford. I don't have to take any house that has a right payment. Why, in the most important relationship of my entire life, am I supposed to just, oh, he wants me, so yes, sir. Why am I supposed to do that? Why am I not supposed to date? Why am I not supposed to look and see at, what I want, and whether this is going to fit my image of my life, And so that was something that I had to give myself permission to do, because in my 20s, I didn't give myself that permission, didn't give myself that permission. So that's a new idea that's out there, and it's going counterculture to some of the messages that are out there, that women just need to be happy somebody wants you, maybe not. Do I want him?
That's how we used to be programmed like that, but we're not programmed like that no more. You got to have that peace within you.
Yes, ma'am.
All that arranged marriages and them, no, we don't. I want to wake up in the morning and be at peace and be happy.
Yes.
I roll over. I want to be able to smile and maybe go back to sleep. And not roll over and be like,
Yes, ma'am.
That's how some of us have ended up. We settled. That was one of the. I do a couple of podcasts, so I'm on a couple of people platforms. So we were one of the platforms that I'm on. We were just talking about image, women image, men image, the family image. So we were talking about her image. So we were talking about how we perceive ourselves as women, how other races perceive us, and how men perceive us. So we had a lot of different women from various backgrounds. We even had a couple of men on the platform. So we had an opportunity to really get an earful of how everybody perceived it. And I was able to take away a lot of different things, because I never saw it in this person's perspective, because I didn't go through that. So I didn't know that could happen. So this has been opening up a lot of different conversations. Somebody needs that book.
Yeah,
Just
I'm sure that there's a lot of people that it's going to touch of all ages. If you're in your 20s and you're just finding yourself, there's stuff in there for you. If you're in your 50s like I am, you're going to relate to a lot of that journey. You know what I mean? So all the way in between, even if you're older than your 50s, there's it's a human experience. But it's also just realizing also to just enjoy every moment. If you go on a date with somebody, enjoy that experience, and just take it for what it is. It's a moment in time where you get to connect with another human being who can have wonderful things to say, but that doesn't make you compatible all the time. Or you could meet him and that could be your first date, first kiss, and last kiss that you ever gonna have because you're gonna marry that man.
right,
But if you don't, sometimes we have only one view in mind. Like, for example, if this date doesn't end in marriage, it's a failure. Why? You could end up with a friend. You could end up having a wonderful experience, but you both decide this is not, we're not compatible, even though we had a great time.
right,
And just enjoying life is a good thing. Just having a wonderful day is a good thing. Just having a wonderful moment where you have great memories is a good thing. So everything doesn't have to end up at the altar for it to be successful. So that's another thing that I wanted people to enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment. Don't lead anybody on to get to a moment, but
right,
enjoy the moment for what it is. Be honest about who you are, what you want, what you're looking for, and then just enjoy the interaction. You know, because everything doesn't have to end up. So many people are realizing through COVID, through quarantine, that they have different options. Just because you signed up for a job doesn't mean you got to stay there. You know what I'm saying? You can open your own business. You can choose a different career. So we need to get that kind of mentality with relationships, that every date doesn't have to end in a relationship, and you don't need to go into the relationship grilling the person, like just grilling them to see if their relationship material. Just take it naturally. Just let things unfold.
wow.
So that's some of the advice that I have about that. And don't feel
Well,
like, people can say, well, you're not in a relationship right now. I'm not in a relationship by choice. Let's get it straight, because I've been off of many. Um, so when I meet, as you said, that person that I can look at and wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so lucky. I am so blessed. That's when I'm gonna settle down. Not, oh, he's a good man. I can deal with that. I don't want to be the I can deal with that. No, I did that before.
right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to. I want to be the. I'm so lucky. I am so blessed. Oh my gosh! Look at this man. Ooh, he's so wonderful. That's what I want to be.
Wow.
And when your heart just fills with joy when you look at him, and you're like, ah, oh my goodness. Even though I know he has flaws, even though I know he's not perfect, I don't care, because look how wonderful he is. Whatever those little flaws are, I will deal with that in a day. I don't even have to think about that, because he's so amazing. That's what I want. So when people ask, what do you want? That's what I want, you know.
Wow. Well, I thank
Chemistry,
you
compatibility,
for
great communication, but that in a nutshell is what I want. So until I have that feeling, you know, I'm fine single. And that's a whole nother thing I wanted to say to women and men, period. You are whole all by yourself, baby. You are whole all by yourself. It's not another person that comes in and makes you whole. If you're not whole by yourself, you need to get whole. So looking for two halves make a whole, no, that's a outdated, that's an unhealthy way of thinking. You need a whole person, and a whole person to come to share their lives together. And so that's a whole nother thing. You can be improved by a relationship. They can add all kind of things to you that you don't have on your own, but that's not the same as making you whole. You're whole. You should be whole already. So I actually go through the process of becoming a whole person, and I stop looking for the other half of me in my book. You see my mindset change from lack and scarcity and fear of all the things that I'm lacking to let me get that for myself. Let me fill that hole for myself. And then when I come to somebody else, I'm a whole person. I'm a whole person. And I can take what you add to me. There are weaknesses I'm always going to have that I may not be. I mean, nobody's perfect. Nobody's a 10 in every area. But I'm still a whole person, even with those flaws that I'm working on. And then this other person that's coming in, they're adding to me and I'm adding to them and we're balancing each other out, and so there's that understanding of what a relationship is, and what it can be, rather than just I'm damaged goods and I'm looking for somebody to heal me, or I'm a partial person and I'm looking for somebody to give me identity. Those are very unhealthy. Those lead to codependency, clinginess, neediness, smothering people. That's not a healthy relationship.
I call that enabling. I don't need that. But I thank you. Definitely want people to be able to connect with you. How can we support what you're doing? How can we follow you?
So on Facebook, I actually have several pages. Zenashe is my main page, Zenase. Zenashe Poetry, Zenashe Zenergy. The podcast that I have is called Zenergy, Zennurgy. It's on about 25 streaming platforms. There's about 87 episodes out right now, so people can subscribe to that. I'm also looking for sponsors for the podcast. If you want to run ad spots on the podcast, they start at $15. I'm looking for sponsors for that. The books are on Amazon. The first book, Zenergize Your Life, is on Amazon, Volume 1. You can get that on Amazon. Also, the other book, Plenty of Guppies and Other Dating Misadventures, is on Amazon. So you can, again, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, Zenashe Poetry, Zenase Poetry. Zenergy is on Instagram. I'm on Twitter at Ashe Poetry, ASE Poetry. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on so many things. TikTok, Zenergy3 on TikTok. So you can, subscribe. You can follow me. You can go to my website. My website is laughsandlyrics.com, LAUGHZAND lyrics.com. I do have merchandise on there. I have a whole bunch of inspirational merchandise on there that you can buy. So yeah, sponsor, PayPal.
If you would, after this live, if you would post your website link in the comment section, at least people can connect with you on your website, because I do definitely want them to be able to connect with you, because I do think that they will be blessed by the amazing resources and the amazing wisdom that you have. I truly have been blessed just hearing you share today. I'm excited. I'm excited for you. I want to share you with another platform that I'm a part of, the Real Bravo Network. We have been talking about the Black image, the Black family, the Black male, and the Black woman. We are right now focusing on the Black woman. So we've talked about how he sees us, how they see us, and how we see ourselves. So last week we talked about us being blessed but stressed, because we carry around baggages and carry on a whole lot, thinking that we have to be super and Wonder Woman when we don't have to. So yeah, I definitely want to share you with the owner of that platform. That we do a panel discussion on Thursdays. Don't know what your Thursdays look like, but I definitely think that you have some information that needs to be brought to this platform for the people that tune in. I say every which way. If it's something that educate, empower, encourage our brown people to come from where they are, I want people to be a part of it, and I think you should be part of this platform, because what that young man is doing over there on that platform is amazing, and he needs some more powerful people like yourself to be a part of it, because we need to get that village mentality back. I definitely want to thank you for taking time out your schedule today to stop by and to share and to be transparent, because I know it's not easy. Thank you for those 3 books. Thank you for taking that time, and thank you for keeping your ancestors' spirit alive, because on their backs that we're able to do the things that we're able to do. We haven't been here long enough. So
Well,
thank
thank
you.
you so much. And I do have quite a bit of time on Thursday in the summer. My schedule gets a lot more hectic when I go back to work, but I actually am retiring in January from education after
Cool.
28 years. So, but I would
Cool.
definitely would love to be on, any other platform that you have. So
I'm
I,
definitely I'm gonna be reaching out. I'm getting ready to travel to Atlanta. I'm gonna be catching a flight in like an hour and a half. But once I get settled in Atlanta, I'm gonna reach out to the owner of that platform and have him reach out to you, because like I say, we're on every Thursday. We're on every Thursday night, and they're central. We're on Central Time. 7 o'clock Central Time is 8 o'clock my time. Well, we go on about 8:30 my time, 7:30 their time. I think he's out in Missouri. Um, but yeah, I definitely want to connect you with that platform, um, because I know you got a voice.
well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Is there anything that you would like to leave with the listeners on today?
I would just like to leave, my podcast slogan is enhance your life, impact your circle. And I would like to leave with the listeners that if you're doing something for yourself, it's not really just for you. You're actually able to ripple out the benefits that you have into your circle. So if you're enhancing your life, enhancing your self-care, enhancing your self-love, it's going to ripple out into the people around you. So you want to do that so you can make this world a better place.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by and sharing with us on today.
All right. Thank
You have
you.
a great day.
All right. You too. Bye bye.
So I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. I am Angela Thomas Smith. I am the founder of AALAC and the CEO of Aspirng Authors Magazine. I have truly enjoyed this whole 3 hours of these amazing women sharing and just pouring out. If you have been blessed by anything that has been shared on this broadcast, I ask that you share this with someone in your circle. Go over and support these amazing women. It's not easy coming on and sharing, but their stories, their testimonies, they're impacting this world. So I thank you guys for tuning in and share this broadcast. I am Angela Thomas Smith, the queen of collaborations, and I pray that your day is blessed beyond what you can see in the natural. Have a great evening.